champion has been crowned already on a glorious Saturday at War Memorial Stadium in the capital city of Arkansas. It is the second half of our high school state championship doubleheader tonight. The Bryant Hornets and the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats to do battle in the 7A state championship game. And we welcome you inside our broadcast booth. My name is Scott Inman. This is Bobby Swafford. We're glad to have you with us for the pregame show leading up to kickoff between Bryant and North Little Rock. Well, when you start looking at this matchup, Bobby, you got to start with the run of 25 straight wins that North Little Rock has produced.
And it's been an impressive run by running the football. They're dominating the line of scrimmage. They've been number one all season long. A tough test in the season opener against Booker T. Washington. That's way back in August. And here they are the 1st of December, still number one, looking to cap off a perfect season.
Well, like you said, there's no question about it. It starts with running the football, and they do it with a three-headed monster.
They do, and they hit it from every direction. It's really a brand of old school football. It's almost the old school wing T, if you want to call it that, but they hit you from every direction. Oscar Attaway, the biggest of the three-headed monster, if you want to call it that, the North Texas commit, can hit the big play, can grind out short yardage. They can really do it in a lot of different ways.
Now, on the other side of the ball, you've got Bryant, who's also going to want to run the football, but they do it in a different way.
Exactly. It's not three heads, it's one head, and it's a really good one. Latavian Scott has already set the touchdown record mark for a season, has a chance to break pretty much every rushing record in Bryant's school history as far as a career and a season. He's the guy that makes the Hornets go.
A lot of intriguing parts to this matchup. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but we want to bring in the third member of our broadcast team, Eric Sullivan, down on the sidelines to talk a little bit more about that running game matchup.
Yeah, thank you, Scott and Bobby. I'm holding each team's football here. You got the North Little Rock one, and then, of course, you got the Bryant right here. And let's see, Bobby, you're from Roland. Scott, you're a Stuttgart guy. I'm a Mina guy. None of our footballs had really cool emblem like that on them back in the day. But when you are a powerhouse program like Bryant and North Little Rock, you get nice stuff. I'll show you some of that in just a minute. You're right, the story guy guys will be North Little Rock. Will they be holding this ball and making plays all night with their three-headed monster of the rushing attack, or will the Bryant legend in the making, Latavius Scott, put him on his back and do it again like he almost did when North Little Rock was down 21-0 to Bryant just a couple weeks ago, but North Little Rock came back and won that game. And guys, about 60 degrees right here at tip-off. You could not tip off. I'm in basketball mode here. At kickoff, 60 degrees in December. You can't beat that. We're going to have so much blue in this stadium. You got North Little Rock blue and yellow, and, of course, that royal blue of the Bryant Hornets. So a perfect night for two very, very good football teams. And, Jonathan, let's take a little tour over here. We're on the North Little Rock sideline. This is something you can show off right here, guys. Look at this. The helmet's in the case, the cleats. You got the championship belt. We had one of those, of course, earlier when the Greenwood Bulldogs had their trophy championship belt they wore on their necklace they had, and even got the pads right there. So, Bobby, I think you said it best. When you win 25 games in a row, you get really nice stuff. And let me tell you, North Little Rock has a lot of nice stuff because they are nicknamed Title Town with all the championships they've been winning of late.
Oh, that is good stuff, Eric. We look forward to your sideline reports during the game. And, yeah, no logo stamped on the footballs when we were playing. There's no question about that.
He kind of mentioned, I think the timetable has more to do with than the actual brand of football that we played with.
Absolutely. Bryant and North Little Rock, a running game matchup, but let's talk a little bit about the quarterback situation. As far as Bryant goes, they're going to probably play two. We saw a two-quarterback system with the Benton Panthers earlier today. That was kind of by design. This one has also evolved or developed because of situations. Ren Heffley is the guy who will probably start tonight. He's been the starter. He's the more seasoned guy, but they have a sophomore quarterback who's really lighting it up.
When you look at teams that run multiple quarterbacks, and the old adage used to be if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterback. So that's not really the case here. Heffley has played in a lot of big games. He's going to be the one who can handle the pressure early on. I expect Bryant to use him quite extensively in the first quarter, kind of see how the game goes, not going the way you want it to. Maybe you turn to the bullpen, talking about different sports references, bring him in and maybe spark the offense.
Austin Ledbetter is that sophomore quarterback. He has definitely been the better passer of the two. Heffley probably a little bit better runner of the two. Now, when you talk about how this one may work out, and you go back to that first time that these two teams met, Eric has already mentioned that. North Little Rock won the game, but they fell behind 21-0. The difference in that game really became a lot about line play, and Bryant has one of the biggest offensive lines in the state. North Little Rock maybe a little smallish for 7A, but man, are they fast on the defensive line.
And they will maul you. That's exactly the type of football that they want to play for North Little Rock. Up front, they're not, like you said, they're not the biggest of line, average only about 250 up front, but they're physical, and they're probably the toughest offense and defensive lines that Bryant's already faced this season, and the toughest they'll face in their high school careers.
A couple of stars also to watch for today on the defensive side of the football for Bryant. They have a tremendous defensive end in Nate Wallace.
And they've got size. So you talked about how undersized, if you want to call it that, North Little Rock is. Bryant is huge defensively, average 266 pounds up front on the defensive side. You want big boy football, you want 7A football. Bryant's front up on the defensive side is really impressive to watch.
The weather, it was warm for the afternoon game today with Greenwood. It's going to be a very nice night tonight.
This is perfect. You think December 1st it's going to be 20, it may be snowing. Not today. It's a perfect day for football. And these two teams who want to run the football and want to pound it out are probably loving it.
So you take into factor of a nice night weather-wise, the fact that neither fan base is more than 20 miles away from War Memorial Stadium. Do we have a record attendance fall tonight?
I think there's a good chance of it. The record's 25,000. That was 2006 when Mitch Mustaine was the quarterback at Springdale. Of course, that team that set all the records. There's no reason not to set it tonight. You mentioned the vicinity of these two teams that had a classic in the regular season, and I think we may be due for another one tonight.
It is going to be a good football game as North Little Rock looks to repeat as state champions, and the Bryant Hornets are appearing in and hoping to win their first ever state championship. We are looking forward to it. Our pregame show is just getting underway. There's lots to do, including hearing from both head coaches. We'll do that as we move along. Also some features headed your way as we walk towards a 6:35 kickoff tonight between the Hornets and the Charging Wildcats. We'll step aside. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
And disaster relief, the Chamber of Commerce, and civic activities. We enjoy rolling up our sleeves and helping make our community a better place. See for yourself the difference our local commitment can make. More information available at mile100bank.com. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
I've never had a playbook. I never want anything put on paper. So, I don't have a playbook at that. It's just rep out there. That's how they learn it anyway, is reps. Keep it simple. Don't be too complex. And if you do it enough times, you might learn how to do it right. Between our offense, defense, and special team players, I had 28 this year that were playing on the field that had a 3-point or better, a cumulative grade point. You know, hard work is the key to success in anything you do. And this is America. You can be anything you want to be. You know, if you want to be a doctor, you want to work hard, go to school, you can do that. You know, you got no excuse in America not to be successful.
I've always been a hard worker, but he's made me 10 times a hard worker than I am. And remember a couple times I ran a play wrong, and he just told me to get right back on the ball and run it again until I got it right. And he just made sure it was perfect. That's what he likes, is perfection.
Off the field, he lets me know it's more than just football in life. You got to work hard for what you want. I take that to my work, I take it to class, and I bring it to the field.
When they leave our program, the whole thing, I hope they learned how to set goals and work hard to achieve those goals. And when you get knocked down, you know, in football, you're going to get knocked down, get back up and just go even harder. That I'm proud of what the kids do in the classroom, because the teachers know that if they have a problem with the kid, all they got to do is call us and we will take care of it. They're going to act right. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. They're going to act right in the classroom. Gentlemen, off the field, They can be wild men on the field, but off the field, we want to be gentlemen.
That was Mike Malham from Cabot High School, who just completed, by the way, 38 seasons as head football coach. Malham finishes his last season with 28 players, making the all-conference team by earning a 3.0 GPA or better. We'll be back with more coverage of our pregame show, and you're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Why choose local? Because local companies stay rooted in their communities. They support other local businesses and provide jobs for your friends and neighbors. At Fidelity Communications, we take great pride in being a local company that's dedicated to the communities we serve. Jobs and opportunities for the people you love. That's why you choose local. Fidelity Communications. We're here, we're local. Be connected with Fidelity, your local internet, TV, and home phone provider.
Coach, you're making a return trip back here to War Memorial Stadium to face a familiar foe in the Bryant Hornets. And when you look at your team compared to last year, what are some differences maybe that you guys have from last year?
Well, a little more prone to run the football a little bit more this year. 3 really good running backs. And, last year we had a couple of really good receivers and a quarterback that could throw it a little bit. So, that's probably the biggest difference is we're a little bit more run heavy this year than we were a year ago. But same philosophy, same schematics. That hasn't changed much, and we're still that football team that believes in running the football and trying to defend the run.
I think a lot of people are a little bit surprised with how heavy with the run you guys were this year and how dominant you have been, because those 3 running backs that you've got have just really blown up most defenses in 7A.
Well, they're probably 3 Division I football players. We're very fortunate to have all 3 of them. And, it's been really neat to see how unselfish they've been. And, they get a lot of credit. But as I told those guys last Friday night in our locker room, our offensive line is just incredible. Those guys have played a lot of football for us. And, they've done a great job.
When you look at coming back to War Memorial Stadium, that a lot of teams say there's like a hangover after winning a state championship. Did you guys suffer any of that this year?
Hope not. This is our 3rd one in a row, which is just blows my mind to think about. We've been here 3 years in a row, and I hope that'll create a little sense of calm about us. And it's not a stage that we hadn't been on, and at the same time, you don't want the newness to wear off. You want the excitement to be there and the anticipation to be there, and we're going to do everything we can to create that environment for us.
As I said earlier, you've already faced the Bryant Hornets once this year, and which was a really close game. It was back and forth. What was the biggest thing that they did that kind of slowed you guys down?
They jumped on our face real quick. Those guys, they got on us 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, and we were staggered. We really were, and really, really proud of our staff and our kids. They never wavered. Our kids have been behind before. That just really didn't bother us, and really stayed the course of what we believe in and what we do. And I think after the first quarter, it ended up being 34-7 for the good guys, and 21-0 for the bad in the first quarter. So at the end of the game, we'll take the outcome.
I remember to the state championship game last year, it kind of came down to that last play of the game. I think when you look at high school teams that have been in situations like that, it's got to give you the advantage, right?
You hope so. As I mentioned earlier, this is a stage that we've been on, and, I hope we can draw from that experience. And, we learned some things in the state championship game, up 14 with a minute and a half to go and end up fighting for our life. So I think you learn from those situations, and you get better every opportunity you have to come here and play.
There's been a lot of talk about the Bryant Hornets coming back because of what happened earlier in the year. Do you worry about, maybe the big crowds that they may bring and that storyline going through, overlooking what you guys have already done?
Not at all. We coach what's between the lines, and, I know this place will have great security in place, and we can't worry about that. We got enough to worry about in Bryant and what they do than to worry about everything else. And, I know they've put great measures in place here to keep everybody safe, and it'll be a great environment.
Defensively for you guys have pretty much held every team down this year. That defensive line for you guys gets after the quarterback quite well.
They really do. Bryant will be much bigger than we are, and we are kind of built on speed. And we were looking at some numbers yesterday. We've only allowed 700 yards rushing all year long, which I've never had a football team in 29 years. To have that, it's just unheard of. And but I think people have really tried to throw the football on us. Very difficult to run the football, and but we've been very blessed on that side to have some really good players as well.
If I've got to ask you one thing that you guys have to do to win today, what would that be?
I think we're going to have to play great defense, and we're going to have to defend the pass and the run. They stress you, they're going to make you defend all 53 yards of the width of the field, and, they're going to stretch you vertically as well. So we're going to have to do a great job, and, I think if we can get into the fourth quarter in a good ball game, we'll have a good shot.
Coach, good luck today.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
We've got more of the Centennial Bank High School State Championships right after this.
The moment of discovery. You can't beat it.
There's a dream that waits like a tiger.
That was amazing.
An ember that grows to a fire. And we're climbing to the greatest heights. The world can't stop us now. They try to bring us down, but we just burn brighter.
Wow, how about that?
There's literally nothing like this in the world.
Well, Coach James, you're here at War Memorial Stadium, and you've been here before with other teams, but this is going to be pretty special for you because this is the first time the Bryant Hornets have ever been in a state championship game.
It is. It's a special time for our school, our kids, our football program, and, our administration. I think that, we've done it in other sports, and, soccer's done it, baseball's done it, basketball's done it. And for football to have a chance to round this thing out, I think it's a great opportunity for these kids, and it helps the hallways, it helps the climate of the school, and it gives a little bit of a mentality to our community.
Last year everybody thought it was the year that you guys were going to make it to the state championship game. Came up just a bit short last year, kind of sealed off the deal this year. Let's go back to your last game against Northside. It was a foggy night, and you guys pulled out the win.
Well, I thought our football team really responded well. We didn't start out very well early, but playing at the end of the game, I thought our kids really played very physical, very tough, and I thought that's probably what we missed out of last year's team. In coaching terms, I told them we need a little bit more dog in us, and I think we showed we had some dog in us this year in some tough games and tough battles, and we came up short a couple times, but for the most part, these guys are able to understand what it takes to compete and get through the tough times.
I saw the other night you used a different quarterback in the second half of the ball game. It's kind of nice that if one guy's having a bad night, you can go to another guy and have two quality quarterbacks.
It is, and that's what we want is depth, and we want, we got two different offensive linemen, we got two different defensive linemen, we got two different safeties, and the thing is when you play the guy that's hot, the guy that's playing well, and it gives your opponent somebody else they have to prepare for, and we always know they're going to get somebody who's at the top of their game.
Coach, when you look at your offensive line, probably one of the bigger offensive lines in the state of Arkansas, they look like a college offensive line. They've really been probably the key to your success this year, if I'm not speaking too front forward there.
Well, I think they've worked extremely hard in the weight room. All of them are over 300-pound benchers. They're all over 500-pound squatters. They're big, strong young men who have worked hard to change their bodies and be able to do that. And the same thing with our defense line. All those guys are over 300-pound benchers, and the over 500-pound squatters. And when I say over 300-pound benchers, most of them are over 350. And so the size and strength of high school offensive and defensive linemen nowadays is completely different. In 94, we won a state championship and didn't have a 300-pound bencher on the team. And here we are in 2018, and every guy on the team is over a 300-pound bencher and a 500-pound squatter. So it changes the complexion of the game.
Coach, when you look at North Little Rock, you've already faced them once this year. That was a really tight game. If I've got to say, what do you need to do in this game today to get the win, what would it be?
Well, we got to play well, and we got to play well from beginning to end. Last time we started out and got ahead of them 21-0, and then we didn't finish well. And against a good football team, you got to tackle in space. You got to get make opportunities for yourself, cut some possessions off, and play extremely hard. And we've got to do that for 4 quarters. This football team that we're playing will not come out here and tiptoe through this game. They will not bow away from a tough battle, and we're in for a heck of a fight.
When you talk to your defense, trying to slow down North Little Rock's 3-headed monster of running backs, what do you tell them?
Well, we got to tackle in space because they're going to put opportunities out there that you got to tackle them one-on-one. They do enough formations. They make the field 50 yards wide and 50 yards deep, and they're going to put you in a situation where your linebacker or your corner or your safety's got to make a one-on-one tackle, and that's when people get beat, is because they can't do that. And we got to fit well. We got to be where we're supposed to be. We got to keep things in front of us, and we've got to play for the next play.
Lastly, before we let you go, you guys started the season here at War Memorial Stadium. Now you're finishing it. It's got to feel pretty good for you and this football team to be back here at War Memorial.
It is. It feels really good, and everybody says start where we finished, but we want to start what we finished finish what we started. And I think our football team is up to the challenge. It's going to be a big uphill battle for sure. We're playing a very good football team, but I think that at the end of the day, I think our kids are going to give us the best effort they can give us, and hopefully the chips will fall on our side a little bit.
Coach, good luck today.
Thank you.
And we've got more of the Centennial Bank Championships right after this.
As part of AETN's coverage of the finals, we are showcasing outstanding student athletes in each division and in each game. Our 7A student athlete is Tay Gatewood from Fort Smith Southside. Tay loves math, and he's crushing the numbers in class as well as on the field.
Tay, T-A-Y-E, Gatewood, senior, quarterback, number 5. I was born with the ball in my hands, and I just feel like I can just showcase my talent with sport.
Coaching Tay's easy. He's a guy that when the game's on the line, he's going to come through for you, and he's just a great leader on and off the field. And, he's the kind of kid that you want in your program. It's kind of son I think every parent would dream to have. I mean, he's just a class act and always bringing the guys up and encouraging them, and just an outstanding young man.
On classwork, I have a good GPA. I have a 3.8. I'm always turning in my homework, always asking teachers for help. Favorite subject has to be probably math. I like dealing with numbers. Football is important to me because I like being competitive and making new friendships with the coaches and my teammates. It just brings happiness to me. One play is not a good play, but my sophomore year, we had the ball. It was on this goal line, and we was playing Cabot, and we had about 5 seconds left. If we would have scored, we would have won. But the coach had called my number, and I had the ball, but I had dropped it at the 1 yard line and fumbled, and Cabot fell on it and won the game. So that play just motivated me to come out even stronger for the rest of the year and my junior year and senior year. And I have a picture of me just laying on the ground, just crying, and I just look at it every day, just tell me, can't let that happen again.
He's just a great role model and a leader in our school and a great role model in our locker room.
After high school, hopefully I'll play at the next level. Division I, Division II, doesn't matter. I just want to get a chance to play at the next level.
Well, I think he's got a great future. He's no doubt he'll go on to the next level. He's got a couple scholarship offers, and we'll see what happens here at the end of the year. But he's going to be playing on Saturday. There's no doubt about it.
It's certainly inspiring to see how Tay used a tough moment in his life as motivation. We want to congratulate him on his academic and athletic achievements, and we also want to celebrate outstanding student athletes in tonight's 7A championship game. Meet Bryant's Nate Wallace, a senior defensive end with a GPA of 3.0. his field of study, business management and marketing. And from North Little Rock, we want to celebrate Drew Martin. Martin is a senior tight end with a GPA over 4.0, and his field of study is business. We'll continue with our pregame show in just a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Experience Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers as they celebrated their 30th anniversary in their hometown of Gainesville, Florida. Watch Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live from Gainesville, the 30th anniversary concert. Tonight at 11.
Everett Difference is much more than just vehicle sales and service. It's also our commitment to helping those who help others, like those who work to build communities, those who help to enrich the lives of children, those who provide a loving home to kids in need, and those who lend a helping hand when you need it. It's a privilege to work with these wonderful organizations, and we're grateful for everything they do. That's the Everett Difference. Everett Buick GMC.
It's been a great day of football already, and it is about time for kickoff for the nightcap in our doubleheader, the Bryant Hornets and the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats in the 7A state championship game. And Bobby, the fans are filing in right now. Bryant's got the edge in terms of crowd. North Little Rock's got a good crowd, but we're expecting a big one. There's no question about it. And there's got to be some sense. I was watching the teams warm up as they were out there and trying to keep their distance and not getting too close. A little chippiness. You got to feel that. Obviously, Bryant wants some revenge. They thought they had North Little Rock on down. Well, they did have them on the ropes, 21-0, and the Charging Wildcats came back. How much do you think that game factors into this one?
I think more so for Bryant than North Little Rock. North Little Rock's going to get every team's best shot no matter what. But for Bryant, they've got to be able to kind of handle the expectations, handle the emotions early in this football game. Because you mentioned it, they led a game in which they led 21-0 in the regular season. That was week 9, so that's just about a month ago. Let that one slip away. Can't let that sit on the front of your mind. But again, you've got to keep it in the back of your mind and kind of fuel that for you going into tonight.
You know, we saw in the first game between Benton and Greenwood that level of intensity played a big factor. That it was not matched. Benton did not keep it up to the level of Greenwood. That's going to be something to watch early tonight.
Yeah, being able to sustain those emotions early on. We saw Benton came out, the Fury landed the first blow score on their opening drive, but they couldn't keep it going. Greenwood's experience in the state championship game prevailed. Tonight, it's a little bit of the same. What kind of intensity is not only Bryant going to come out with, what can they sustain? Because this is North Little Rock's third straight trip to the state championship game. This is old hat for them. How can Bryant kind of temper those expectations and emotions early in this football game?
Big student sections, and they're making a lot of noise. Let's go ahead and go down to the sidelines and check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Eric Sullivan, down there amongst the crowd. Eric.
It's very, very electric here at War Memorial Stadium tonight. You're not going to find two better programs across the state that have the community support. We all know about Bryant. Look at the sea of blue over there. And, of course, Titletown, Arkansas, North Little Rock. And how about the coaches of these two teams? You got Buck James and, of course, Jamie Mitchell taking these programs to heights they may have never been before. North Little Rock has won 37 of their last 38 games. And here come your Bryant Hornets' first ever state championship appearance. So these guys will probably have some statues outside the football fields of them here coming up in a few years, but they have really taken two of the 7A programs in the state to very, very, very high heights here so far. And you guys mentioned it, revenge for Bryant as they that game early on this year. But North Little Rock, I was talking to some coaches just a little bit ago, the fast start is something they preached all week getting ready for this one.
All right, Eric, thank you. We'll talk with you in just a bit as you get a shot of some of the Bryant student section. They are in all white tonight, and they are out in force. They call them the Swarm during the regular season, and they are excited. It's been a buzz all week long around campus, making their first ever state title appearance. And when you talk about, Eric talked about Jamie Mitchell coming over, his record so far, 44 I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
No, and Eric mentioned that they're 37 of the last 38, 3 straight trips to the state championship game. Haven't lost since the 2016 state championship game. Success breeds success, and sometimes all it takes is one crucial win, and you're going to get tired of hearing about it. At least fans in this part of the state are tired of hearing about it. That first win against a West school, sometimes it breaks the floodgates, and last year North Little Rock got that win in a state championship game over Bentonville, and now we've got 2 teams from the Central in a state championship game. Kind of that power shift has started in Arkansas high school football.
Wildcats 12-0 on the season, and only 2 losses for those Hornets, 10-2. We already talked about the one loss to North Little Rock. The other one was to Fayetteville. They already avenged that loss in the playoffs. They had to beat them again, or they had to play them again. They beat them for the first time in the playoffs along that path to the state championship.
Yeah, Fayetteville and Bryant aren't close to each other geographically, but they're about as close of a football program as you can get. Met 4 times since the start of the 2017 season. The first 3 meetings all decided by 1 point.
Wow.
And this year, obviously, that Bryant got the better of them. It was a blowout. They won by 3 points.
Well, you can see the captains for both teams. North Little Rock will be in blue and Bryant playing in white tops, blue pants, and we're about ready for the opening coin toss, and we'll be able to take that live from the officials' mic to see who wins the coin toss and what their decision will be. We're not being able to pick up that coin toss just yet, but we may. He's going forward with it, so we may have to just kind of take his signals here.
Little Rock has won the toss, elected to defer to the second half.
So North Little Rock won the toss, and they have deferred to the second half. So Bryant will be on offense first.
You see that more and more in football at all levels. You win the coin toss, you always defer to the second half. You want that time to adjust, get that score coming out of the break. I've always been a fan. You get a chance to take the football, take the lead without the other team touching it first. Do that, but that's why I'm up here, not on the sidelines.
It is an interesting call to make. I mean, there's no question about that. And I think high school football, where we are now, there's going to be a lot of points scored in most of these games.
Exactly. I mean, this the depth on offense, the depth on defense. There's some playmakers at essentially every position, especially for these 2 schools. There's going to be some points. And you hate to say who's going to be the team with the ball last, but who can land the last blow is probably going to win this one tonight.
Well, the team's about ready to enter the field now, and Bryant has their inflatable up in the southeast corner. You can see there as their team will get ready to run onto the field. And the charging Wildcats out of the northwest corner tonight.
We talked a little bit in the early game, Scott. How do these teams handle the emotions early on? North Little Rock's been here. They know how to weather the storm of emotions that they're going to go through as they're waiting to break through the banner, waiting to break through the tunnel. How does Bryant handle this? This is uncharted waters for the Hornets. Have not been to the state title game, have not been in a game of this magnitude, with the exception of the Salt Bowl, of course, the season opener. The whole lot higher stakes on the line today as they were back in August.
Yeah, this will be their 3rd time to play in War Memorial Stadium because they played Little Rock Catholic here as well earlier this year. And as you mentioned, the Salt Bowl. So that both teams, or a team in each of the first 2 matchups today, experienced their season opener here at War Memorial Stadium. We talked about that in the Benton Greenwood game, about how that one started and ended in the second half because of the unfortunate events that took place there. The false idea that there was an active shooter inside of this stadium. And the floodgates open. Here come the Bryant Hornets. Both of these teams, obviously, we told you they played in the regular season. They're conference foes.
They're preseason number 1 and preseason number 2 in their conference and in the entire classification of 7A in Arkansas. And here they are, the last possible meeting. It doesn't matter what happened in Week 9. If Bryant can find some way to win this one, we'll forget pretty quickly about that 21-point lead they blew in Week 9.
And the fans for North Little Rock on their feet, ready to usher in their team. Here they come. lot of blue out there tonight.
Not quite as a heavy workout for the flag gang as it was in the opener today. The wind's not blowing nearly as hard as it was in the 6A matchup between Greenwood and Benton this afternoon.
62 degrees currently, so a little bit cooler than a 70-plus degree day. It will be a cool night. The overnight low expected to get into the 40s overnight. By the time we're done here, could be into the upper 50s. So it's a pleasant night. All you need is a light jacket. And a lot of fans have made the trip. Wasn't a long trip, as we talked about, just across the river for the North Little Rock fans and about 20 miles away for the Bryant fans. Takes a little longer to get the team out on the field than it did in the 6A game, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. You look at North Little Rock's roster, and they've got double numbers. You don't see that very often for high schools. They've got 120 deep in the end zone getting ready for kickoff here at War Memorial Stadium. That is a full sideline. Eric Sullivan's, who's going to be roaming around, is going to have to take the long route to get to the other side of North Little Rock.
So North Little Rock's kickoff team out onto the field as we are ready to start this one. Pre-game clock has hit 0 and 12 is up on the board. This Bryant offense, when they hit the field, averaging 29 points per game so far this year. Braylon Butler and Trayvon Herron back deep, as well as Miles Aldridge. So the Hornets put 3 men back to return the kick. It'll be a short kick, bobbled and picked up by Aldridge, and Aldridge breaks a seam, loses the football. No signal yet. It looked like North Little Rock may have pounced on it. They did.
Talk about momentum to start a football game. Looks like it's going to be a big return for Bryant out near midfield, but the ball pops loose, and you hate to see it. Special teams in big games so many times determine the outcome. Obviously, the first break bounces the way of North Little Rock.
And it was a great kickoff return, too. But a turnover right off the bat. And that was how North Little Rock got back into the game when they fell back behind 21-0 as you take another look.
It's Cedric Kane that was able to punch the ball loose from behind for North Little Rock.
Plus territory to start for the first play from scrimmage. Brandon Thomas gets the first pitch of the ball game. Good pursuit by the Bryant defense.
This is when the chess match begins. North Little Rock offensive line, not big. We talked about it in the pregame. Averages about 255 pounds against a massive defensive front for Bryant. It's all going to start with number 99 up front. You're not going to take a whole lot of effort to find him on your screen. That's Kawan Robinson, 6'2", 300 pounds, and he's every bit of that.
Gain of a yard. Jacob Neal made the stop for Bryant. Now full house backfield. This is what we talked about, the three-headed monster. Tyler Day gets the carry straight ahead, but it's a minimal gain again. He ducked his head in there, but Bryant was sound in the middle. A 2-yard pickup, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Assignment football. That's how you beat North Little Rock. They're not going to do anything that's complicated. They're going to run right at you, and they're just going to count on you missing your gap one time, and that's when they break into the secondary, and they've got the workhorses to turn 4 or 5-yard gains into 50-yard gains in a hurry.
3rd down and 7. The Bryant defense trying to offset an early turnover. Attaway and Day in the backfield. It's going to be a keeper option. Pitch is loose. And Attaway will fall on it, but it's a big loss of 8. And Bryant's defense will get that North Little Rock offense off the field.
After the fake to the fullback, it looks like North Little Rock has something going, but Cotton's pitch way behind his running back, and a big loss, and Bryant's able to avoid damage after a fumble on the opening kickoff.
Jake Metters will drop back deep to return the punt, standing at about his own 10. Bryant avoiding disaster here in the early going. spiraling kick sends Metters backpedaling. He lays a lick as he comes up the sidelines.
You don't think of punt returners lowering his shoulder. A nice job there.
43-yard punt and about an 8-yard return. And Bryant will now snap the ball on offense. Ren Heffley will start at quarterback. We told you we'll probably see 2 quarterbacks tonight. Latavian Scott, the leading career rusher for the Hornets. It's a fake to him. Heffley's going to throw. Nobody to go to, so he's going to run the football. Run out of bounds at the 19-yard line by Abram Terry after a pickup of 3.
I like the idea of going play action. We've talked all week about how good Latavian Scott, chance to break school records, go play action on the first play, trying to catch the North Little Rock defense napping, but fundamental football keeps him in chance.
Scott with 1,607 yards in the season so far. 5'10", 208 senior, and they'll give him the ball. Bounces it outside, and he just missed, possibly taking it to the house. A possible touchdown-saving tackle by Cedric Kane. It'll be a gain of 11, and Bryant will move the chains.
That's exactly what Bryant wants to do, attack the line of scrimmage, let Scott find a hole. He bounces it outside, and you mentioned it there, Scott. Kane forces the fumble on the kickoff, and now a potential touchdown-saving tackle. That's 2 big plays in the early moments.
Scott in the backfield again. Latavian this time can't bounce it outside as North Little Rock stops him for no gain. A couple of guys there. First one, Terrell Allen, 6', 235 junior defensive tackle. They are fast up front. They're pretty good in size. Now, Bryant has got the size advantage on the line. There's no question about that. But they are quick. They will move pre-snap and give that offensive line fits.
That's what you've got to do when you're going against 277 a man up front, which will let Bryant's coming out at 290 at right tackle with Blaze Smith.
That's a small college lineup right there. 2nd down and 10. Heffley to throw. He's got trips going left, and he's got a man. It's complete to Metters, and Metters heads towards the pylons. He's going to step out of bounds a bit short, right at the 40-yard line. Ridden out there, run out by Kevin Skorts. It is a pickup of 8.
Third short, first real big play of the game for Bryant. We've talked about how big that offensive line is. Can they get that yard? These are going to be the situations in which Bryant's going to need to have success, keep their offense on the field, and more importantly, their defense off the field.
That was the 43rd catch of the year by Jake Metters. He is the top target for Heffley. It's a pitch to Scott, looking for room outside, and he is right at the first down stick as he steps out of bounds.
It's going to be close.
Yep.
Looks like he might be a pinch short.
Rashad Muhammad ran him out, and they're going to say he's half a yard short. Boy, this is an early decision, but it looks like it's not much of one. Buck James is going to leave his offense on the field. 4th and a yard at your own 40.
Ran a toss play to the short side of the field there.
Yep.
See if they use the width and Scott's speed.
Scott straight ahead. He's got the first down, moving the pack for about 4. 3 or 4 yard gain by Latavian Scott. And Bryant gets a new set of downs.
That's a big play. A couple weeks ago, we saw North Little Rock go for it on a 4th and 1 and broke a 70-yard touchdown. So both of these coaches not afraid to go for it in their own territory. But in this situation, that's a big, big play for momentum and confidence for that Bryant offense.
If you're just tuning us in, Bryant, a fumble on the kickoff, the opening kickoff, but their defense forced a 3 and out, and now they're on the move. Heffley flushed out of the pocket, throws sidelines, and it is going to be ruled incomplete. Intended for River Gregory, and he couldn't get a foot down.
We're just a few plays into it, Scott, but the coverage in the secondary for North Little Rock has been all over these Bryant receivers. Haven't been able to get much separation, able to force Heffley out of the pocket there, and that's not his game. He's not going to be a quarterback who can beat you on the run too many times. We're going to call that a win for the North Little Rock defense.
So Bryant has thrown on first down a couple of times on this drive. See what they dial up on 2nd and 10. Heffley to throw again. Quick to tuck and run. Can't break free, though. Might have had a shot at a first down if it wasn't for a good open field tackle by Dwayne Hunt. It'll be a minimal gain of about 4.
He's the anchor of the North Little Rock defense. We've talked about how they're not real big up front. They're not real big at the linebacking core, with the exception of number 1. He stands out in the crowd. 6'1", 230 pounds. Agile enough, makes the play in open field.
A big play here on 3rd down. Empty backfield. Nobody's open. Heffley buys time and throws incomplete. That ball was tipped near the line of scrimmage by Cedric Kane and then almost intercepted.
It's clear Bryant wants to move the pocket. They don't want to leave Heffley as a sitting duck in the backfield where the North Little Rock rushers can pin their ears back, so they're rolling him out to the right, shortens the field, shortens his reads. That time, North Little Rock able to get a hand on the football, and it falls incomplete.
Austin Ledbetter, who is the sophomore quarterback that we may see in action tonight as signal caller, is the Bryant punter, and he sets to kick it away to Oscar Attaway. A couple of starters on offense, on special teams, and Ledbetter's punt is a low dribbler but takes a nice Bryant bounce inside the 15-yard line. And the Hornets don't get points, but they are able to flip the field a little. A 34-yard punt.
Both defenses able to make a stand early. Now the chess match begins. Field position is going to turn into points at some point. Question is it this drive?
AETN appreciates all the fans who support public media in Arkansas. Consider becoming a sustaining member at aetn.org. Second offensive possession of the night for North Little Rock. They went 3 and out the first time around. Thomas and Day operate out of the I formation, and the pitch goes to Thomas. And Thomas gets over the 15-yard line, and then he is hit hard out of bounds after a pickup of about 3.
North Little Rock's not going to get away from their style. Their MO is they're going to run the football. They're going to run it at you. They're going to try to run the toss to get to the outside. But Bryant's got to be able to stay fundamentally sound, and they've been able to do that in the first drive and a play now.
We have not seen a pass yet from the North Little Rock quarterback. He's going to give it straight ahead and nothing doing. Nothing doing for the fullback Day.
That is too much beef to be trying to run at on a regular occasion. That's Robinson right in the middle. Big 99, all 300 pounds of him. Plugs the hole, and now North Little Rock face a 3rd and long.
And the Bryant fans and Bryant student section making some noise here at War Memorial Stadium. They want another 3 and out. North Little Rock right across from that student section. They're going to have an issue with the play clock here, Bobby. They're down to 5 as they come to the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to call timeout. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Eric Sullivan. Eric.
Yeah, Scott and Bobby, a couple storylines early in this ball game. Bobby, you've already alluded to it. North Little Rock secondary is playing insanely physical so far in this game. I'm talking grabbing, pulling. They're going to get caught at some point, but that's been the goal here, to really be aggressive. And how about the big front line of Bryant so far? They have a mission tonight to slow down that North Little Rock rushing attack. We'll see if they can sustain that before we get into a halftime to get some kind of adjustments and all that good stuff. But so far down the field, through my eyes, North Little Rock secondary, outstanding. Bryant's D-line, very, very good as well.
If you're the secondary of North Little Rock, keep doing it until they call it, until they prove they're going to throw the flag on you for illegal contact downfield, whether holding or even pass interference. Get your hands on those receivers. Make them throw a flag. Because unlike earlier today, we haven't seen any yet.
That's a good point. We were already 4 or 5 in by now. Yeah, Bryant's receivers certainly not getting separation, and that's some good insight Eric provided there from his look down on the field. Meantime, the Bryant defense trying to force a second consecutive 3-and-out. They're going to throw. Cotton swings it to a man out of the backfield, but he is going to go nowhere. Number 11, Frederick O'Donnell, could not get started upfield.
Nice job by Jacob Neal, the linebacker, getting out in space, gets the one-on-one tackle. That's a big stop for the Bryant defense. You talked about how the field position game is going to start. Bryant could very well start this next possession on North Little Rock side of the 50.
John Beck set to punt it away. And Jake Metters is deep again for the Hornets. Well, that's a good kick. Metters is going to call for a fair catch and make it at the 44-yard line. That was a good punt.
That's a big plus for Bryant, though.
They've got great field position again.
You take away the fumble on the opening kickoff, they've really controlled this football game. That's where they should have started their opening drive, but now here they are at their own 44, 45-yard line, right in between the two, it looks like. It's a chance for Bryant to maybe land the first blow in this heavyweight tilt.
38-yard punt for Beck, but he needed every yard of it to make sure Bryant started in their own end. Great field position to start at the 44. Heffley's going to throw. Makes a man miss nicely in the backfield, then throws high. Intended for Hayden Schrader.
One thing to kind of pay attention to, Scott, as we move forward, Bryant's bringing Scott out of the backfield. It looks like they're running a flat route. They're going to run that the out and up in just a few minutes to the running back. I don't pay attention to him out of the backfield. North Little Rock's done a nice job covering him in the flat so far. We'll see if they try to hit the deep one.
They are definitely, a part of their game plan apparently tonight is to be throwing on first down. It's about 3 consecutive first down throws. Now they'll keep it on the ground to Scott. Scott's tripped up before he can get out of the pack. He gets about a 5-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a manageable third down for the Hornets.
That's a fan favorite, 5 yards. Defense is happy you hold them to 5. Offense is happy you move 5. Everybody's clapping.
Ahmad Adams in the backfield along with Scott on this 3rd down and 5 play. Heffley hit as he throws. And a quarterback hurry by Terrell Allen will force a 4th down. Those receivers are definitely struggling to get separation.
Allen was able to get off the edge, get around Burton on the left tackle, and forces Heffley to throw that well before he was ready. Forces another Bryant punt.
So it's a defensive struggle to start. More than halfway through this first period. Ledbetter back out there to punt. Attaway back deep to return. Ledbetter with a very short kick again. This one does not take a kind bounce for the Hornets. It's going to be a favorable bounce for North Little Rock, and they're going to get much better field position now.
Not what you want is Bryant. You get great field position. You don't get a first down, and the short punt on top of that. Now North Little Rock has position. They've got a little momentum. We'll see if they can cash in.
About a 29-yard punt that time by Ledbetter.
This one's being played between the 30s right now.
Defenses are in charge. There's no question about it. Under 5 minutes to play in this first quarter. Thomas and Day behind Kareem Cotton. Out of the I formation. Cotton's going to throw. Had time. Pocket breaks down, and he throws it short.
North Little Rock's not going to throw it a ton, but they are going to go play action. He was looking for his tight end, Drew Martin. It's a good target to look for. 6'4", committed to Memphis. It's not enough protection. It was good coverage in the back end, but again, Robinson, the big guy in front, not only does it against the run, he was able to get to Cotton, provide a little pressure.
Cotton did not look comfortable in the pocket to me that time.
You know, he's a guy that they don't ask a lot of. You know, every now and then they'll run the option. We've already seen it once. A sophomore, this first time he's playing in a state championship game. Maybe the baby blinders are on him for a little bit right now.
Thomas alone setback. Cotton's going to throw again. And he's off the mark again.
That's exactly what Bryant wants to see. They want to see North Little Rock throwing the football because that means they've stopped the run. North Little Rock is not a team that wants to drop back and even throw it 15 times in a football game. So the fact they've gone back-to-back passes on this drive is a win for this Bryant defense.
Tried to fit it in there in too tight a space. And it's 3rd down and 10. Wildcats still looking for their first down of the game. Quick throw, and he just wound up and let it rip, and that was way uncatchable for his intended receiver, Braylon Battle.
3 straight incomplete passes. No harm done for Bryant.
Are you surprised at 3 straight passes?
A little bit. That's kind of getting away from what their forte is. Speaking of North Little Rock's offense, Cotton's a good quarterback, but they're a play-action team. They're only going to throw the football, only going to be effective through the air when they've got the ground game working. Right now it's not, and that's why we've seen now 3 consecutive 3-and-outs.
Metter stands at his own 30 to receive this punt from Beck. He sent a good one up there last time. This one not as good. Short kick that bounces out of bounds depending on where they mark it. It's probably going to be around the 40-yard line. Looks like maybe they're going to give it to 39.
-3 yards of total offense for North Little Rock as we are under the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. And that's a number they're not used to seeing. -1 in the passing game, -2 in the running game. That's not going to win you many football contests.
Bryant jumped out front 21-0 the last time these two teams met, but the Wildcats came back and won it. Handoff to Scott, makes a man miss in the backfield, shuffles his way forward to the 45-yard line. That's a good run by Latavian Scott. 6-yard gain.
For both of these offenses, you got to get back to the basics, which is winning first down. That's the first significant gain either side has been able to pick up on first down. No surprise for Bryant. It comes on the workhorse of Scott. They've tried to throw the football early in downs up to this point. I like going to the big guy in the backfield.
Scott does not go down easy. He is very good at breaking tackles and hits the hole hard. Here's Scott again. Makes another guy miss at the line of scrimmage. That's turning positive yardage where there wasn't any. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short after the 1-yard pickup off that defensive line. Zadrian Smallwood making the stop, 5'11", 261 senior for North Little Rock.
You kind of get the feeling that this is where we're going to live all night long, Scott. 3rd and short to medium. 3 to 5 is where these teams are going to have to be successful. Can Bryant pick up a key first down? Because neither one of these teams have been able to sustain anything offensively.
3rd and 4, and Heffley's going to throw. Looking for Scott. He didn't put it in a really good position for Scott to bring it in and be able to run with it. Even though he makes the catch, it's minimal gain, if any, and the Hornets will have to punt.
Cedric Kane, again, makes the big play in the flats. He's a guy we've already called his name 3 different times. He wears number 3. That's a big play in the flats. And again, the punt team trotting out there for Bryant.
Well, we've seen more of the punters than we have anybody tonight so far. Ledbetter is back out there. Bryant has had a couple of first downs. North Little Rock has none. It is all defense right now. Ledbetter again just kind of pooches it down there. That is going to be a really short punt, giving North Little Rock the football at about the 27-yard line.
They're obviously trying to keep it away from the return man, but kind of costing themselves field position without trusting their cover team. But you'd rather give up some field position than the big play as far as a return.
See what makes Arkansas schools great. Check out spirit videos from schools around the state at aetn.org/sports. 2 first downs for the Bryant offense. No first downs for the North Little Rock offense. That's where we are at the 2:43 mark in the first quarter of the 7A state championship game.
After 3 straight passes on the last drive, you got to think they're going to run the football here.
They do with Thomas. Off right tackle. Thomas gets a good gain. Breaches the 30-yard line. That'll be about a 4-yard pickup. He is stopped by Dalen Land for the Hornets.
You're Jamie Mitchell. You take that. You get 4 yards on first down. That puts yourself in 2nd and 3rd and manageable. And this is when North Little Rock can start to get their offense churning.
Let's go down to the sidelines, check in with Eric.
Yeah, Scott, how about the defensive intensity we've seen on both sides so far? And for Bryant's Kawan Robinson, North Little Rock simply cannot block him. I overheard Coach Jamie Mitchell of North Little Rock saying, get with my offensive line coach and let's get our reads back together, and we have to communicate to start opening up a few holes. So both teams, both head coaches working with their staffs diligently, trying to find some openings so far.
Well, there is the first down of the game for the Wildcats. Oscar Attaway, as North Little Rock gets a little creative to get it done, but he found room around the right side as Wilson brought him down for Bryant.
That's what North Little Rock does. They get you flowing one direction and they hit you with a counter play on Attaway coming back against the grain. They've hit countless big plays on opponents all season. Actually, a nice job by Bryant staying at home, but Attaway had a full steam ahead and picks up a 10.
First down of the game coming in the final 90 seconds plus of this first quarter. Play clock already down to 1. They get it off, and they'll swing it out to Attaway. Attaway makes a man miss. 2 men miss, but he is brought down in the backfield. Good pursuit by the Bryant defense. Dalen Land finally brought him down, and a loss of 2 on the play.
Jake Wright was really the player who busted that play in the backfield. Sheds the blocker right at the, doesn't make the tackle 39 there, but able to string the play out and force North Little Rock to go east and west instead of north and south like they want to.
You really have to be happy if you're Coach James right now with the way this defense has played in the first quarter. They have been in the right spots, and they've made the play. Cotton back to throw, and he is going to be hit and dropped inside the 40-yard line by guess who? Nate Wallace, a 6'2 senior defensive end. That's his 13th sack of the year. It's a loss of 4.
Gets on the outside shoulder of the left tackle. The old swim move goes right around, and Cotton has no chance.
13th sack of the year by Wallace coming into this game. 1/3 of his total tackles were behind the line of scrimmage. He is a man who lives in opponent backfields. Quick hitter is incomplete. They were trying to get a little quick pass over to Battles. Very safe call on 3rd and a mile. And that sack just put North Little Rock behind the sticks too far. They gave up on that possession, and they're going to punt it away again.
A little too much mustard on it, even if they complete that pass. Haynes right there for the Bryant defense. That was going nowhere.
Could be the final play of this first quarter. Beck back out there to punt. And Metters back again. We'd like to have the chance to return one. Bryant looked like they might be coming after it. Boy, they got close, too. I'm not sure they didn't get a piece of it. It really came off his foot low, but it's going to take a terrific North Little Rock bounce. All the way down to the 12-yard line on the final play of the first quarter. Well, we saw a lot of offense, Bobby, earlier today. We're seeing some good defensive play through 1 quarter of play here at War Memorial. Back for the second quarter after this. You're watching the 2018 High School State Finals on ATN Sports.
One of the best things about being a community-focused bank like Centennial is that we encourage our employees to volunteer and give back. That's why our bankers are often seen around town involved in activities that have less to do with money matters and more to do with supporting others. From charity events and disaster relief to Chamber of Commerce and civic activities, we enjoy rolling up our sleeves and helping make our community a better place. See for yourself the difference our local commitment can make. More information available at myownhunterbank.com. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
Bryant's got the football back to begin the second quarter. Their defense has held North Little Rock to 9 yards of offense so far in this one. Latavian Scott moving the pack forward. Gets a little push from his offensive line as he gets close to the 20-yard line. It's a pickup of 8. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Eric Sullivan. Eric.
Yeah, Scott, just listening in to some of the Bryant coaches talking, it's all about assignment and trying to find something, some little crease for their offense to get going to really get Scott out in the open, and that's why these coaches make the big bucks. They're all on the sideline talking to the guys upstairs, trying to get something brewing to get a little offense. And, hey, if you get 7 in this game, it might be enough the way they're playing defense, Scott and Bobby.
I got a feeling it's going to open up before it's over. Nice move to kick it outside by Scott. And he's got the first down and more. Finds the sidelines and is run out of bounds near midfield, but there is a flag down.
We jinxed it by saying there wasn't any laundry on the field. No penalties in the first quarter. Really clean. This is still going to be a first down for Bryant, but instead of being in North Little Rock territory, this one is coming back.
It was a downfield block, so we may still get
10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Yardage out of it. It was a 31-yard run. But they're going to back the Hornets up. Back inside the 30.
Still a first down, but obviously a lot of momentum taken away from that penalty.
By far the biggest offensive play in the game so far. At least cut in half.
We've seen it a few times now. Scott's a man away from breaking the big one. You can tell the Bryant offense is one have a little confidence right now.
Ahmad Adams in the backfield with Scott on this first down play. Heffley to throw. Heffley launching one towards the far sidelines, and it is in and out of the hands of Josh Robinson, and he had his man beat.
Looked like he had a couple steps. Might have alligator armed that one. He saw the sideline was coming up, trying to get the feet down, just short-armed it a bit instead of hauling in the pass.
Just off his fingertips. Another first down throw by these Hornets, but the incompletion puts them at 2nd and 10. Play action. Heffley throws high. Closest man there, Hayden Schrader, but he was covered up big time.
Sometimes you self-scout yourself a little too much. You know, Bryant is obviously a run-heavy team. They've come out trying to throw the football. That's 8 pass attempts already for this Bryant offense. You'd like to see them go to Scott a little more often, but now they're faced against the chains. They're 3rd and long.
Support the programs you love on AETN. Become a member at aetn.org. Less than a minute into the second quarter of the 7A state championship game. Still looking for our first points. Bryant with a 3rd down and long play here. Heffley looks middle, now goes right side, got a man there, and it is caught for the first down. And it's Hayden Schrader. They've looked for Hayden several times, and they finally connect with him. And on 3rd and 10, they get 11.
It's not bad coverage, but a well-executed route. A pass a little late with a 12-yard out route and 3rd and 10. That's how you get the job done, and Bryant's on the move.
19th catch of the year for Schrader. Now back to the ground game. Scott weaving his way, looking for room, and again getting some push through the middle. And that's a good gain on first down as he breaks the plane to the 45-yard line. That's going to be 5 or 6 yards on the play.
Just kind of thinking to myself, well, I got to get Scott the ball more. Here we are just a few minutes into the second quarter, and he's already got 10 carries. So clearly my math in my head's not real good.
10 carries for 59 yards. His average at 5.9. Season average is 6.8. Second and 5, and a keeper by Heffley. Heffley with some nice moves to get into plus territory, and Heffley's going to move the sticks for Bryant. He's brought down by Sam Taylor.
Nice job by Heffley to read that defensive end, the old read option. That's really taken over football at the amateur level, high school and college. He sees the end go too far up the field. He pulls at 97 on an island, picks up the first down.
8 yards on the carry by Heffley, set up by the play fake to Scott. You know, the last time these two teams played, you saw North Little Rock shift their fronts a lot pre-snap, do a lot of stunning. They're playing pretty straight up right now, it looks like. Scott met in the backfield that time for a loss of a yard. North Little Rock won that battle. Smallwood with the tackle.
You can play straight up when you've got plays like this. Number 70 right in the middle of your screen, spins off the tackle, able to get back and make the play. It's a big stop by a big man in the middle. 5'11", 260 is the senior for North Little Rock. Don't generally condone spin moves if you're 260, but he pulled it off nicely there.
It'll be 2nd and 11. A lot of two-back sets for Bryant. Hand off to Scott again. Gets by one tackler, spins off another, and that's a good gain on 2nd down to make 3rd down more manageable. Scott averages nearly 20 carries per game as he picks up 4 there. He is well more than halfway there here early in the 2nd quarter.
There is a very good chance he may get 20 in the first half here today, already with 12.
You got to go with what's working, right?
Hey, he got you here.
Yeah.
Time and time again, you see teams get away from their game plan, get away from what got you to the state championship game. Hey, he got you here. Use him.
Passing down here, North Little Rock showing blitz. Here they come. Oh, whistles before the snap, and I don't think Bryant got it off in time.
Prior to the delay of game foul, timeout. Bryant, their first time out of the half.
They knew they weren't going to get it off in time, so they do call a timeout. North Little Rock was coming on that one. They were bringing the blitz. Bryant will burn their first time out.
The way this game has gone, the first quarter and a half or so, you might believe this is 2-down territory. If you're at 3rd and 7, kind of depending on what happens here on 3rd down, if you can pick up a couple yards, you might take your shot, because the way these two teams have punted the football, they haven't been exactly the most pretty special teams you'll see. A good idea. Buck James may go for it.
That is a great point, because Bryant's defense, they have to have a lot of confidence in right now. 9 total yards for North Little Rock, but you also, if you don't get it, you chance the momentum swing. Get the defense fired up for making the stop, but Bryant's defense is playing awfully well right now.
But if you're Buck James, you don't want to get to that situation. You draw off the play in the dirt, or the iPad these days, on 3rd and 7, try to pick it up.
And they connect with Metters. Metters heads towards the pylon, or to the first down stick, and it looks like he got to the marker. They'll move the chains. It's a first down for the Hornets.
Wherever he drew it up, technology or dirt, it worked. The old flood routes, and Metters was wide open in the flats, and he does the rest and gets to the chains.
Slayton Clark made the stop for the charging Wildcats. And this is the deepest penetration of the night for the Hornets. At the North Little Rock 33. Handoff to Scott.
Got a lane.
And Scott's got an avenue inside the 10. Can he get there? He can. Touchdown, Hornets.
You knew it would be a matter of time, Scott. He'd been on the brink of breaking it away. Scott finally got to the corner and had just enough in the speed burst, just enough in the tank to get to the pylon, and Bryant strikes first.
33-yard touchdown run from Latavian Scott.
You can start to see why he's got most of the school's rushing records to this point. He is a load to bring down, but if he gets in the open space, he's got the speed to burn.
Sophomore Brock Funk on to attempt the point after. And it's good. 8:16 left until halftime, and the Hornets have struck first here in the 7A title game. They lead North Little Rock 7-0. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Why choose local? Because local companies stay rooted in their communities. They support other local businesses and provide jobs for your friends and neighbors. At Fidelity Communications, we take great pride in being a local company that's dedicated to the communities we serve. Jobs and opportunities for the people you love. That's why you choose local. Fidelity Communications. We're here, we're local. Be connected with Fidelity, your local internet, TV, and home phone provider.
Experience Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers as they celebrated their 30th anniversary in their hometown of Gainesville, Florida. Watch Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live from Gainesville, the 30th anniversary concert. Tonight at 11.
An 11-play, 88-yard drive, taking 3 minutes and 44 seconds. Latavian Scott finishes off with the long run, and Bryant's up 7-0 as we go down to the sidelines and check in with Eric.
Watching closely Latavian Scott come off the field after that outstanding touchdown run. He had that look that, hey, guys, I'm here for 4 quarters. Feed me the ball. I can take us to our first state championship. He wasn't screaming and shouting and jumping up and down. Had that business-like approach that he can be the man tonight to take Bryant to the promised land. We'll see if he can do it, guys.
All right, Eric, thank you. Cedric Kane gets a good kickoff return for North Little Rock, and they'll have good starting position at the 38-yard line.
Answer time. If you're North Little Rock, you like to pride yourself on running the football. Bryant essentially just moved down the field on the ground. Can you answer? Jamie Mitchell's got to challenge his guys up front.
9 yards of offense so far in a quarter and almost a half. And the give goes to Day.
It's essentially the old school dead T look right there. Thought we were watching Cabot High School instead of North Little Rock for a moment.
Stop made by Dalen Land, linebacker for the Hornets. It's a pickup of 3. Well, if Bryant's front continues to play as well as they are, they're going to have to throw the football, and they've thrown it a little bit, but not well.
It's going to be a direct snap, it looks like here.
Attaway's going to take the direct snap and give it on the end around to O'Donnell.
Neal again in the backfield.
No gain.
Middle linebacker for Bryant is just swarming to the football. You can tell he's seen that play on film a time or two, and he wasn't even worried about the Thomas who took the snap. He was headed straight for the motion man.
That time the creativity did not work. Bryant playing very sound.
All it takes is pulling at one time, though. That could be a big play with the overflow of the Bryant defense there.
Well, this is what you want if you're the Bryant defense every time out. 3rd and long, 3rd down and 7. Day at fullback. They'll fake to him and give it on the flip to Attaway. And Attaway looking for room, can't find much because he runs out of real estate. Jacob Neal there to run him out of bounds near the 45-yard line. Be a gain. Actually, they're going to mark him back at the 43, so it's about a 2-yard pickup is all. And that'll bring on the punter.
As good as Bryant has been in the middle of their defense, Robinson, the defensive tackle, Neal at linebacker, look to see North Little Rock run more of those type plays. The option, maybe a toss to the outside. Try to utilize their speed to get out of the side of the beef of the Bryant defense.
Beck set to punt it away. Metters back deep again for the Hornets. This one angling towards the sidelines. It'll stay in play, but be down at the 31-yard line. Another short punt. And good field position for the Hornets. Momentum on their side right now.
The visiting bleachers have filled up pretty nicely for a high school state championship game, and they can feel it. Got a 7-0 lead. Defense is playing well. Offense just put it in the end zone. Now have the football back. Way too early to say you can take momentum of this football game or take control of it, but Bryant has a great chance to establish themselves here.
Ren Heffley will lead them back on. Senior quarterback who's thrown 51% of his passes have been complete, 15 touchdowns, 8 interceptions on the year. He's also run for 139. It'll be Adams testing the right side, and North Little Rock all over that. Sam Taylor, one of the first guys there from his defensive tackle spot, the 6'1", 225 senior. Be a loss of a yard.
That's the type of play Bryant's had a little success on, bouncing it to the outside. Obviously a designed run to get to the outside there. Look for the cutback lanes.
Metters in the backfield. Heffley's going to throw on the out route. It's batted away. That one was almost a pick six.
Dangerous throw all the way across the field. 29 for North Little Rock makes the play.
Slayton Clark stepped in front and almost got the pick six. Josh Robinson was the intended receiver.
Stared his man down. That's too long of a throw to make while you're staring down just one receiver. Bryant is very, very lucky North Little Rock's not dancing in the end zone right now.
3rd down and long again for the Hornets. Scott and Adams join Heffley. Low snap. Heffley has no problem with it. Decision time. He's going to run for it. And he is really close. Right at the first down stick.
This is going to matter.
Gain of 11.
This is one of those, do you spot it with the right foot or the left? If he spots it with his left foot, that may be a first down for Bryant. And it is.
They're going to move the sticks without a measurement. And the Hornets keep the drive alive.
It's a big play to keep your offense on the field. As well as your defense is playing, the last thing you want to do is put them back out there after just 3 plays.
They are 3 out of 7 on 3rd down tonight. That was a 3rd and long and a big one. Hand off to Scott, and he is going to be pulled down from behind. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Terrell Allen there to meet him. We'll call it no gain. He really lost about a half a yard.
Nice job from the defensive end spot, reading, seeing that the quarterback gives it away, and just gets down the line, makes the play. I've seen a lot of negative first downs from both sides. That makes it really tough to convert when you're already behind the chains.
Heffley right out of the pocket. And he throws incomplete. Boy, the Bryant sidelines thought he was there. It was intended for Robinson again.
Great coverage by Kane. Once again, was step for step with the receiver on that. Able to get a hand in there, cause the incompletion. Kane has played very, very well in this first half for North Little Rock.
Tough to see there, but the Bryant sideline certainly reacting like Robinson made the catch. 3rd down. And a long 10. Here comes the blitz. Heffley under duress. Hits his safety man, Scott, but Scott has nowhere to go. North Little Rock playing like their hair's on fire on that play. Everybody was coming downhill. Zadrian Smallwood barreling down, along with many of those players. It'll be a loss of 4.
Not much went right for Bryant on that one. Didn't able to establish enough blocks up front. Pass rush didn't come up far enough upfield. The screenplay blown up from the start. Now Bryant's forced to punt.
Now North Little Rock is going to call their first timeout.
North Little Rock clearly didn't like what they saw. Maybe a different punt formation than they're used to seeing from Bryant.
Watch the programs you love when you want with AETN Passport. Learn more about this on-demand streaming benefit at aetn.org. Let's head down to the sidelines and check in with Eric Sullivan. Eric.
Starting to see a little bit of Bryant's offensive line getting some creases there for Latavion Scott, but boy, you got to be impressed with both defensive coordinators being able to adjust on the fly in this first half, because y'all laughed at me on 7 points being enough. It could be, guys. It could be.
I'm still laughing at him.
Yeah. And keep in mind, which one of these 3 North Little Rock guys, these running backs, are going to take over this game like Scott seemed to have with the Bryant Hornets. One of these guys has got to come out here and really with this last 4 minutes and a half, maybe get something going on the ground.
Ledbetter's punt hits a Hornet and will be blown dead at the 38-yard line.
A little unlucky there. Looked like it might have been one of his best punts of the first quarter, and a plus hits his own man in the back and knocks it dead just inside the 40.
24 yards on the punt by Ledbetter. The pitch to Thomas, and Thomas is leveled.
Robinson gets down the line, big 99. North Little Rock doesn't have an answer for the big guy in the middle of the Bryant defense right now.
300-pounder there, the senior, 6'2". He's having himself a quarter.
He showed the quickness there. Sheds a block, gets down the line. Not many guys can bring down North Little Rock's trio of running backs by himself, so let alone doing it at 300 pounds.
One of the best defenses in the state. Bryant allows just 12.6 points per game.
And you can see why. That front four is going to give your defense a chance to shut anybody down, especially one as potent as North Little Rock.
Handoff to Day. And Day gets back to the original line of scrimmage, or close to it, but it's only about a 2-yard pickup. Stopped again by Robinson.
This is a completely different matchup than North Little Rock has seen, especially last week. They took on a Bentonville West team, which is a much smaller defensive front. They were able to really do anything they wanted to offensively. You need to couple that with now a Bryant defense, which is likely the biggest in Class 7A up front. It's kind of a wake-up call for the Charging Wildcats the first half here today.
Only Day in the backfield. They'll give it to Thomas on the end around. Thomas cuts it upfield, stumbles his way to the 45-yard line, tripped up by Wilson, and he will be short of the first down after a gain of 7.
It's not an immediate call to send out the punt team here. Jamie Mitchell staring it down. And I open my mouth, and here comes the punt team.
Well, he thought about it. There's no question he thought about it. Maybe a little too early.
Maybe a little gamesmanship, bleed a little extra clock there as well.
Yeah.
They don't want to give Bryant too much time to get a scoring chance.
And this, unlike the first game today, the clock with 3 minutes and under, you don't know. It's going to take a little while. More sustained drives that take more time off the clock compared to our first game between Greenwood and Benton. Beck back out there. And a fair catch called for and made at the 18-yard line by Metters.
So Bryant's going to have 2:45 left, 2 timeouts, 88 yards to go. But more importantly, what they want to do here is sustain a drive and not let the North Little Rock offense back onto the field. Charging Wildcats are going to get the ball to start the second half. So if you're Bryant, you may not score here, but you definitely don't want to give the ball back to the other side.
Tavian Scott is 5 yards away from breaking 100 for the half. And he is back out there to go to work for the Hornets again. He will be met in the backfield this time, though, by Terrell Allen.
Allen's making a day of it in the backfield for Bryant.
A loss of 2. Yeah, these defensive lines are really dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides.
It's just a simple stunt, able to cross the face of the offensive lineman for Bryant, makes a play in the backfield.
Obviously, Bryant's offensive line's gotten more push on the touchdown drive for sure. 2nd down and 13. Heffley on the rollout. He's got a man wide open. It's Schrader at the 30. And Schrader gets out to the 36-yard line. There's a flag down back at the 20. It's a 20-yard gain for the moment. David Smith made the stop for North Little Rock.
Ineligible man downfield. Offense, number 84. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, 2nd down.
He called ineligible man downfield on number 84. That's an eligible number, so that means you've got to believe someone lined up in the wrong spot. He was covered up by an outside receiver. Those are the mental mistakes, especially when you hit a big gainer like that you'll go back and look at after the game and say, this one could have cost us.
Yeah. Would have been 1st down out at the 35-yard line, and now they'll replay 2nd down, but it's 2nd and about 19. Call it 17, rather. Heffley just gets rid of it as he is belted.
That could be grounding. Was not a receiver over in that area.
Terrell Allen there again. Now they'll throw the flag late.
Now the question was he in the end zone when he let that football go?
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 1. Half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul. Carries the loss of down. 3rd down.
Oh, they're going to spot that inside the 1.
He just turned around and didn't see Big Sam Taylor coming.
He was on about the 1 when he let the football go half the distance from that point. And now Bryant is really backed up against it. You expect Scott gets the football here. This is a big play for the North Little Rock defense.
Yeah, you're just trying to find some breathing room for Ledbetter to punt it away. They're going to throw, though. Heffley throws short and incomplete. Metters only gets one hand on it.
Good play call. Metters was wide open. Heffley just couldn't make the throw, and you alluded to it there, Scott. Now, a normal punt snap's about 17 to 18 yards, and they're going to get 9 here. So we'll see if North Little Rock decides to play field position and just field the punts, or if they try to go after it.
You don't get any less room than you have right now inside the 1 yard line where they snap the ball for the punter.
This is tough, though. You never want to get a roughing the punter call here. So North Little Rock may just play back and play the field position game.
Yep, that's exactly what they're going to do. That punt barely cleared the helmets at the line of scrimmage, and the punt is fumbled and picked up by the Hornets. Oh, my.
What a play. North Little Rock's looking at the ball inside the 40, and one of their playmakers, Oscar Attaway, just cannot field the punt and turns it over, and Bryant with new life, a minute and a half left, and that is a huge, huge mistake for a really experienced player.
Hayden Schrader falls on it for the Bryant Hornets, and they will get a big, big break on the turnover. He tried to pick it up and go with it, just couldn't keep his feet. Looking for a little scoop and score there. And Ledbetter is in the game at quarterback for the Hornets. The punter now in at quarterback. On the rollout, he has room to run. Lowers his head to take on the defender and gets close to the first down. Kevin Wallace delivers a lick. Gain of 10. And it is enough to move the chains.
You know, Bryant hadn't been able to get much going offensively with Heffley, just 5 of 15 passing. Sure, a minute and a half left in the first half. Why not go to the backup and see if he can spark you before intermission?
Ledbetter looking wide, connects with Metters. And Metters has a first down and more. Tries to get a block from his fellow receiver, Schrader. And he's twisted down inside the North Little Rock 35-yard line by David Smith.
That's been a constant for Bryant's offense. Metters has been opened in the flat. That's clearly something Buck James and his coaching staff have been able to find on film. Metters to the flats is something that North Little Rock's leaving open, and they're taking advantage of it.
A 23-yard gain for the Hornets, and they're in plus territory. Ledbetter going deep down the sidelines, and his receiver was held. It's incomplete, but we're going to get a pass interference here. River Gregory, the intended receiver, but you could see it from up here, Bobby. He was having his jersey pulled.
Yeah, Cedric Kane was all over him on that. He's had a really good half, but it's too much hand fighting. But I like the play. They haven't called it up this point. Play physical. Now you have to back up. Now you've seen they're looking for it.
Holding.
Pull off a
Defense,
little
number 3. 10 yards from the previous spot. That results in a first down.
I thought they might go with defensive holding rather than pass interference there. So it is a smaller penalty, but still is an automatic first down for the Hornets with 47 seconds left in the half.
What a change of momentum the last 30 seconds of the game.
And the Hornets have 2 timeouts too, so this is all kinds of clock time. Ledbetter throws high, maybe felt the footsteps there. He was under a little bit of pressure intended for Latavian Scott.
Dwayne Hunt right up the middle of the A-gap, right to the shoulder of the center, and unable to get a hand on him. And the big linebacker for North Little Rock able to break that play up in the backfield. That's a lot of man, a lot of North Little Rock Wildcat coming at you. You want to get rid of the football. 6'1", 230 is Hunt.
2nd and 10. Ledbetter just throws it away. Metters, the intended receiver, but he, I think, intentionally threw that one out of bounds.
Good decision there. Again, trying to go to the flats, though. Moving the pocket. Bryant's been consistent with that, not allowing North Little Rock to tee off on one spot. Move the pocket. Ledbetter throw this off the mark.
So it's 3rd down and 10. 39 seconds on that clock. Ledbetter got a nice pickup block by his running back, and now he has time to throw. Complete to Robinson for the first down inside the 10.
We're going to talk about Scott running the football, but that was a great pickup on the blitz. He took on Hunt right at the point of attack. That was a big-time collision at the line of scrimmage and a big play for Bryant.
15 yards. The clock will start as they get set. It's 1st and goal. Still plenty of time with the 2 timeouts. Ledbetter on the draw to the 1.
Bryant will burn a timeout here.
7-yard pickup for the sophomore quarterback.
I don't claim to know a ton. You got the ball on the 1-yard line. You've got number 23 in the backfield, 205 pounds of Latavian Scott. I'm going to bet he gets the football not once, but at least twice in the next couple seconds.
Big opportunity here for the Hornets as we check in with Eric Sullivan.
Yeah, Scott, what a major change in momentum we've had the last couple of minutes for the Bryant Hornets. I was just over by North Little Rock on the sideline. Dead silence. They've been punched in the face almost. Let's see if they've got it in them to stop. And, Bobby, I'm with you. You give it to Latavian every time you can here with the amount of time you've got to make it 14-0. That's a pretty healthy lead considering the defense that's being played this game.
You know what 14 isn't? 7.
Yes. I didn't know that.
Well, you make a great point, though, the momentum swing. North Little Rock was poised to have the ball in plus territory on that punt. The fumble and the turnover, and Bryant is trying to take advantage. Direct snap to Latavian Scott. Lowers his head. Did he get in? He did not. And they will have to call another timeout. 1-yard gain for Scott. 10 seconds left.
Now you have to kind of think about this if you're Buck James. You want to give the ball to Scott. You're inside the 1, but if you fail to get in, you're out of timeouts now. The half's over. You don't really think field goal here because you're outside the hash, and in high school football, the hash is farther than college, so this would be a really, really tough angle. I think you try to find a way to put it in the end zone.
Go for 7, guys. You got to.
For more action, watch Exploring Arkansas Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. on AETN. Eric says go for the touchdown here.
In today's day and age of shotgun spread football, if Bryant's got a formation where they line up with a fullback, the quarterback under center, I'm going to it right here. Anymore, though, the majority of teams in high school and college never line up under center.
And how big to have those timeouts left, guys. Smart coaching there by Coach Buck James there.
Well, here we go. This is a big play in the game.
Got some added beef behind the line.
They'll give it to Scott, and he lays over those offensive linemen and gets into the end zone for the touchdown.
I like the play call. Bring in a couple extra beef eaters up front, line up as glorified fullbacks, and Scott just finds a hole, tries to go over the top, but his offensive line paved the way. He lands on his feet, walks in, and looky there, 14, or about to be a 14-point lead for who many thought was the underdog in this game.
We told you one of the biggest offensive lines in the state, averaging 277 up front. And Latavian Scott just got off his feet, landed on their back, and almost rode into the end zone. Brock Funk is on for the extra point. He missed it.
I cursed him. I counted the point before it went through.
So it will remain a 13-0 Bryant lead with 7 seconds left to play in the half. Good time to point out, though, Bobby, it was 21-0 Bryant the first time these two teams met. As dominant as Bryant has been, they're going to have to do it for 24 minutes.
You know, that's a backbreaker. What happened on the punt with Oscar Attaway, you give up great field position, they go down and score. But the best thing for North Little Rock is we're almost to the half. As long as you can get into the half and nothing crazy happens on this kickoff, you're only down 13. You've got time to go into the locker room and regroup. Jamie Mitchell can look his guys in the face and say, hey, we've done it once this year or against this team. We can do it again.
8 plays, 65 yards, a minute 22 on the touchdown drive. And the total yardage, Bryant 201, North Little Rock 21. They'll hit a worm burner to try to make sure they don't get a long return, and it will be laid on by Donald Hammonds at the 28-yard line. 31-yard kick. 7 seconds here for North Little Rock.
We'll see how aggressive they want to be, whether they run the toss or looks like they're lining somebody up way deep, so they may just take a knee, take this one to the half.
That is exactly what they'll do. Bryant Hornet defense pitching a shutout. And their fans show their appreciation as the Hornets head to the locker room. A 13-0 Hornet lead appearing in their first state championship game, and they are halfway home. But as we mentioned, 24 minutes of football, and the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats have been here before.
They have been here before. They've been here in this almost the exact same situation against the same team. The stage is a little bigger. Now you know how a team's going to react, and Eric on the sidelines.
Let's go down and check in with Eric. Eric.
Coach Mitchell, a lot of momentum for Bryant right now, but let's not forget you were down 21-0 to these guys. What's the message to your players?
Well, we just got to stay in the fight. You know, our defense is playing great. You know, just a drastic turnover right there, Oscar, with a terrible choice. But, you know, he's made a ton of plays for us, so we'll go right back to him. And we just got to figure out some ways to move the football a little bit.
What is their defense doing to just kind of shut y'all down so far this game?
They're really good, you know, and we knew that coming in. But, you know, we'll stay to what we do. We just got to find some angles and some ways to create some run game, and hopefully we can make some big pass plays as well.
Coach Mitchell, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that was Coach Mitchell there. A lot to talk about in this halftime speech. He's given a few of them, though. I think Charger Wildcats will be pretty fired up coming out here in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Eric. Sometimes it's just pretty simple. They're pretty good.
Yep. You can have all the X's and O's you want, but at the end of the day, the Jimmies and Joes are the ones who make the plays.
It is halftime at War Memorial Stadium in the 7A championship game, and the Bryant Hornets lead the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats 13-0. We'll be back to check out the bands from both schools. After this, you're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Wow, that is unbelievable.
Stay curious.
Every moment, for every memory, from that first car, to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
We welcome you back to War Memorial Stadium as the Bryant High School Band is taking the field, and they're about ready to start their halftime performance. And when they do, we will let you hear some of it during our halftime. But first, a couple of highlights from this, and there are only a couple offensively. A lot of defensive highlights.
Been a lot of defensive highlights, and we kind of thought this would be a slugfest. We thought it'd be a lot of yardage gained on the ground, but instead it's been the defensive lines who've really established themselves up front, and one big guy on both sides of this equation. Looking at the highlights in the first half, it's been that guy, Latavian Scott, for Bryant. But you look at the defenses, 97 for North Little Rock. Terrell Allen has been a nightmare for the Bryant offense, and the other side, 99. I don't think we can talk about how well he's played enough. That's Kawan Robinson, the big guy for Bryant. He's lived in the North Little Rock backfield.
When they changed to Ledbetter at quarterback, the passing game kind of got a spark.
It really did, because you can kind of pack the box a little bit. You know, Heffley was not effective this 5 of 15 passing, but again, you can't forget about the punt. That's when they made the fumbled punt. That's when they made the change at quarterback, all the momentum on the visitor side.
All right, the Bryant High School Band is performing here at halftime, and we want to let you hear some of it, and we'll do that now.
One of the best things about being a community-focused bank like Centennial is that we encourage our employees to volunteer and give back. That's why our bankers are often seen around town involved in activities that have less to do with money matters and more to do with supporting others. From charity events and disaster relief to Chamber of Commerce and civic activities, we enjoy rolling up our sleeves and helping make our community a better place. See for yourself the difference our local commitment can make. More information available at mile100bank.com. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
Last year's North Little Rock team won the 7A division in no small part to their kicker, Savannah Melton, a female kicker. Her inspiring journey in a male-dominated sport has driven her to succeed on the field and as a role model for young girls.
Well, they were looking for a kicker, and they went to the guys' soccer team. Nobody wanted to do it, so my friend joked and said, "Hey, Savannah, she's played soccer for a while, and I'm sure she can." So we just went outside, kicked a few footballs, and the next day he gave me the jersey. Started in the game that Thursday night. I was nervous before kicks, but they knew I could do it, and that's what led to our victories most games, because I had a few kicks where it meant win or loss. There was a lot of pressure into the kicks, but having my teammates and the coaches on my back, and Arkansas and North Little Rock especially, they just believed in me. We worked our hardest and fought to get first and set our minds to it, and we did it. And being a part of that team was just incredible and made so much history. Football, there's a lot of aspects to it, not only on the field, but outside in the classroom. Overall, it's given me the experience just to stay on the right path and do my best in everything I do. My experience as being a kicker at North Little Rock High School has led to the opportunity and scholarship at Harding University to play soccer, and I'm just pursuing my athletic career. And I had a wonderful opportunity here just to keep going with athletics and be with a new team and carry the characteristics and everything with me. I would say to young girls who want to follow their dreams, just to believe in themselves and work for it. That's the main part. You know you can do it and you're capable of it, so just pursue it. I look back at all the experiences I've had, and I'm just grateful for everything.
And we want to say once again, congratulations to Savannah on her college success. It's halftime at War Memorial Stadium of the 7A state title game. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
So the last time you saw Mary Frances was
about 75 years ago.
It's wonderful to see you.
Beat up but won't be broken. Lonesome but always searching.
You've got to struggle out there to live, but all you have to do to die is just give up.
Long days, too many short nights. Wrong ways that almost felt right.
It was such a deep wound.
I would never want to see any history erased.
So keep on, keeping on.
These are your people. No.
Wow.
Need a Kleenex.
Really?
To the dreamers, why believers, hanging on to hope by your thread.
You changed my life.
To the soulful, heart open, hopeful, keep on charging ahead. 'Cause when you feel it and you breathe it, it's unforgettable. When you know it and you hold it, it's unforgettable.
This year, PBS won 9 Emmy Awards.
Whoa.
Including more news and documentary Emmys than any other network. Congratulations to all our winners.
moment of discovery. You can't beat it.
There's a dream that waits like a tiger.
That was amazing.
An ember that grows to a fire. And we're climbing to the greatest heights. The world can't stop us now. They try to bring us down, but we just burn brighter.
Wow, how about that?
There's literally nothing like this in the world.
Back live at War Memorial Stadium, fans settling in as we get closer to the second half kickoff. We're under 5 minutes away from the teams emerging from the locker room, and then of course they will have a 3-minute warm-up period. Time to look at the first half stats, and it has been a defensive game. There is no question about it, particularly the impressive showing of the Bryant defense. They have held North Little Rock to 25 total yards in the first half. Bryant has 139. I'm sorry, those are the rushing yards. 25 rushing yards, -4 passing, so 21 total yards for North Little Rock in the first half. 201 total yards for the Bryant Hornets, 135 on the ground and 66 through the air. The punts, you can see that's been a big part of tonight's game too, and the averages certainly favor North Little Rock in that. Both teams have lost a fumble. Penalties have not been a big issue, just three flags against Bryant and 1 against North Little Rock. The third down conversions, the Hornets are 5 of 11, and look at that number for North Little Rock, 0 for 6. They have not converted a third down yet tonight. Individual numbers, Latavian Scott leading the way. We told you he averages almost 20 carries per game. He's already at 17 through the first half of this one for 94 yards. That's an average of 5.5 per carry. His long 33, and that was a touchdown run, 1 of 2 in the first half for the Bryant running back. Ren Heffley has 26 yards rushing, averaging 6.5 per carry, and Austin Ledbetter at quarterback has 16 yards rushing as well. Heffley 5 of 15 passing for 29 yards. Ledbetter was 2 of 4 for 37 yards. Metter's the leading receiver with 3 catches for 41 yards. Latavian Scott had 2 catches, Robinson with 1, and Schrader with 1 as well. Jacob Neal, the leading tackler for the Hornets with 6. Wilson, Bailey, and Robinson Wilson and Bailey with 3. Robinson has 2. North Little Rock, the leading rusher, Oscar Attaway, but he's only carried twice for 17 yards. Brandon Thomas, 5 carries for 12 yards. Tyler Day, 4 carries for 8. Kareem Cotton was 2 for 6 for -4 passing yards in the first half. Kevin Wallace, the leading tackler, with 8 tackles in the first half. Terrell Allen had 4. Cedric Kane and David Smith with 3 apiece.
As bad as you feel right now, if you're a North Little Rock fan looking at the scoreboard, only 1 first down, 21 yards of total offense. This is still a 2-score game, and they get the ball to start the second half. This game is by no means out of reach for the Charging Wildcats.
We get closer to third quarter action. Football is generally considered a boys' sport, but for one Kensett 6th grader, she's burying that stereotype and rewriting it her own way.
My name is Jada Tatiana Nicole Arzola, and I play guard and tackle, and I love hitting boys.
She's changed the way I believe in girls playing football. I thought she ain't gonna make it, but as soon as we put her in pads, she got out there and trucked the first kid. I said, yep, she's gonna make it. Because at first, you know, they really can't tell she's a girl, just other than her ponytail hanging out of the back of her helmet. They was like, number 46 is pretty good. And I was like, yeah, she's a girl. And they couldn't hardly believe it.
Girls can do things boys can do, but boys don't think they can.
She has really, you know, inspired a lot of kids to play. Like I said, we've got girls that want to play all the time, but everybody just can't do what she does. You just can't get out there and play smash mouth football like she does. You know, a lot of these girls can't.
My name is Jada Tatiana or Nicole Arzola. I play guard and tackle, and you're watching AETN Sports.
We're close to the third quarter action, and Eric Sullivan is standing by with Coach Buck James.
We're here with Coach James getting ready for the second half. Coach, you got to be proud with a 14-0 lead, but you know what they're capable of across the sideline.
There's no doubt. They're a good football team. We were up 21 last time, and they come back and won, so 13 is not near enough. So we got to keep playing. I mean, they're a tough, hard-nosed football, and plus they're champions, and champions die hard.
How great was your defense in that first half and carrying that over into the second?
Well, we got to carry it over. They were great, and I mean, hopefully we can keep that up. If we can, then we'll win the ball game. But I have a feeling that they're going to answer the bell, and our guys have got to be ready for the challenge.
Talk about maybe taking, if they were to get a big play, maybe being able to take that punch and respond to the guys at halftime.
It's all about body language, about mental attitude and focus. We didn't think we'd come here and beat them 7-0. That's for sure. So, we got to play football. We got to play all 4 quarters. And this is a new half. It's 0-0, and we got to go out there and win this half.
Coach, good luck. Thanks for the time. All right, Scott, back to you.
All right, Eric, there you have it. Even though Eric may have thought 7-0, Coach James never did.
Yep. Somebody's in the minority down there on the sidelines.
Where that came from. And Alabama came back and won, guys. What's going on here?
Well, that's normal.
Yeah, that's not a shocker
Did
at all,
anybody
is
really
it?
think that wasn't going to happen?
With Jalen Hurts, yes, I never thought that would happen. But how about the old switcheroo there?
Yeah, it worked last year against Georgia. Why not pull it again this year?
Poor Alabama. They had to go to their backup quarterback. I hate that for them.
Who could start for 118 other teams in college football? The only one he couldn't start for, probably Oklahoma.
Big day of college football, big day of high school football here with the state championships and, of course, semifinals in the lower classifications all day long, all evening long. And we'll be back here next weekend for 3 more. But, oh, wait a minute. We're not done this weekend either.
Right.
Normally we would be at this time of the night.
Mother Nature
Saturday.
wants Sunday football.
That's right. A Sunday afternoon championship game. How about that?
I tell you what, now that I think about it, Scott and Bobby, most coaches never listen to me anyway, so I could have said 100-0. I don't think Coach James was worried about me. He's trying to take care of his guys and hold these charging Wildcats who have a look on their face right here, guys. It is pure determination to get back into this football game.
Well, you don't think he didn't mention to that team in the locker room either that, hey, these guys were up on, or we were up on these guys last time we played, because it was the first thing he said to Eric. Hey, we were up 21-0 last time.
Yeah. Should be interesting to start things off. Every coach I've ever known or played for, guys, the first 5 minutes of the second half usually determines who wins any game usually, but especially in football.
Well, you wonder, too, Bobby, about halftime adjustments. What are they going to do differently when it clearly didn't work in the first half?
I think North Little Rock's going to try to get to the football to the outside. They had a little success. We've seen the old counter, you want to call it the end around, the wing back coming back the other direction against the grain. I think we're going to see more of that. Try to get the football to Attaway and Thomas in space, whether it's a toss, whether it's a little swing pass to the outside. Try to utilize the speed. Bryant's really good defensively up front. They've got speed to go sideline to sideline, but less bodies usually equals good things for an offense.
And, of course, North Little Rock will get the football first. They've won the toss at the beginning of the game and deferred and had an opportunity to jump on Bryant early because the Hornets fumbled the kickoff return.
Yep.
But the Hornet defense setting the tone with a 3-and-out, and they had a lot of those. Forced a lot of those in the first half.
We mentioned at the start of this game, how does Bryant handle the emotions? They handled it well in the first half. Now how do they handle success? You've got a 13-0 lead coming out of the locker room. Have to be able to sustain that and try to add to it.
Kane and Larf back deep to return. Brock Funk to kick away for the Hornets. Bounces inside the 20. A high hop fielded by Kane. Kane runs into problems. Tries to go outside. Nothing doing there.
Wasn't a pretty kick, but it got the job done. You'll take it. Inside the 20 anytime. Doesn't matter how it happens.
9 yards. We take a look at some defensive highlights for the Bryant Hornets in the first half.
There's plenty of them. I've been really impressed with their middle linebacker, 37. Jacob Neal. He's been able to go sideline to sideline. His read and recognition skills have been really, really impressive. We'll see if he can carry that over to the second half.
Thomas and Day, and the give is to Thomas. He bounces outside and will get about 4. He's pushed out of bounds there by Andrew Hayes. So just like Bobby mentioned, they try to go outside, get about 3.
Try to take advantage of that any way you can. Get them going one direction. I expect maybe the counter play, the counter, and the play action. Try to get that spark play. We haven't seen anything from their tight end, Drew Martin, either. He's a playmaker they want to try to involve in the game plan.
Longest run tonight, Oscar Attaway had a 15-yard run in the first half. Here's Thomas again. This time he turns the corner, has the first down and more, and he's still going. Finally brought down inside the Bryant 40, and there's the biggest run of the night. Andrew Hayes makes the stop, and that's what North Little Rock needed.
Exactly right. You go to the outside, you've got hat on a hat out there, and you let the speed do the rest. Nice job of downfield blocking, and all of a sudden North Little Rock has life and excellent field position.
A 41-yard run by Brandon Thomas. And he is still in the backfield. They pitch to him, trying to find room outside again, fighting his way, trying to get loose from that tackle. Won't be able to do it. Great stop made by Andrew Hayes. And boy, we got
a haymaker going.
Some extracurricular activity going big time after the whistle.
There were a few punches thrown there. It looked like it might have been number 2 for North Little Rock. There could be not only flags, but a couple guys hitting the showers early. So I hate to see that in a game of this magnitude.
Yeah, and they had the momentum, too. It's not like the frustration of the first half was still happening. This is their best drive of the game.
That was a busted play from the start. Either the quarterback or the running back went the wrong direction. Luckily, they didn't throw that without looking. Busted play, but it's about to get a lot worse for at least one of these teams. There may be offsetting penalties, but this could be a big blow, especially if Tyler Day is shown the gate.
Eric, what did you see?
Yeah, guys, I did see some punches thrown right there. Number 2 from North Little Rock certainly involved in that, but the referees are meeting as we speak here on the field, and big decision. This is 7A football where they, like you said, Scott, break it up, offsetting penalties and let them all play, or will somebody be hitting the locker room early? But it was pretty nasty down there from what I saw.
Yeah. Well, Tyler Day is number 2, and he's a fullback, the starting fullback for North Little Rock.
Yeah, the only advantage would be they don't have the luxury of looking at replay to see if punches were thrown, but it was pretty obvious from our vantage point that some haymakers were being delivered.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams. Number 88 of Bryant and number 28 of North Little Rock. Those fouls will offset. The down will count. Second down.
Well, they're going to call it on Oscar Attaway, 28 of North Little Rock, and Cottrell Wallace, 88, a linebacker for Bryant. So either they didn't see the punches or
missed it. Yeah, missed it.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Nobody kicked out.
Yeah, lucky for both teams, really, because I thought there could have been multiple guys heading into their day early.
After that loss of 2, North Little Rock with a major shift here, pre-snap, second down and 12. Tyler Day is in the backfield. Cotton's going to throw, and he's got a man wide open, but it is incomplete, broken up.
Tamarion Wilson lowered the shoulder, got there as soon as the football arrived. That's a big-time play by the safety.
He closed quickly, too, Bobby, because it looked like O'Donnell might have a chance to go to the distance.
That was supposed to be a misdirection. You line up in a hurry, try to sneak the tight end, who doesn't normally line up in that spot for North Little Rock. That's 11, Frederick O'Donnell. Try to sneak him out, had him open for a second, just delivered the football too late and allowed Wilson to get time to get over and break it up.
Third down and 12. Deepest penetration of the night for North Little Rock. Still looking for their first points. Cotton fires, incomplete. It looked like Jacob Neal had a chance to pick it off. It got through him, intended for Braylon Battle. But it's fourth down and decision time for Coach Mitchell.
Well, we kind of lost it in the mix with the extracurricular activities, but first down went backwards for North Little Rock, and that puts them behind the chains, and this is not an offense that's going to beat you dropping back and throwing the football.
Bryant looked like they had 2 opportunities there to make the pick.
Oh, wow, they're going for it.
Yep. Not entirely surprised here.
Punt doesn't do you a whole lot of good right here.
Cotton fires in and out of the hands of Josh Beck, and he probably would have had the first down.
That was by far the best-looking pass play North Little Rock had run up until this point, but you can see the receiver Beck, his head hanging there. It's a play you think you're going to make. Would have been a first down, had plenty of running room. Just hit him in the worst possible spots, and that's the hands.
That was the best throw Cotton's made all night.
No question. That's a big momentum shift. The way that sequence of plays played out, now Bryant takes over. You think North Little Rock's getting right back into this football game, and all of a sudden now Bryant has the ball and a chance to take a 3-score lead.
Ledbetter will start the second half at quarterback, and he'll hand off to Adams, and Adams is met immediately and dropped for a loss. Terrell Allen drops him for -2.
He's had a big day in the backfield.
-1, we'll call it.
Yeah, Allen's done a nice job of reading the play action, reading the quarterback, running back option, and made the right decision there, closes down and makes the play in the backfield.
The fans are into this. You can hear the North Little Rock fans shouting defense. They want to get the ball back. Ledbetter going up the sidelines, throws behind Hayden Schrader off the back shoulder, and Schrader didn't have much of a chance on that one.
They tried to sneak him out on the wheel route, but again, really good coverage by North Little Rock. They're down 2 scores, but you can't really fault North Little Rock's secondary a whole lot. They've played really tight defensively, and they've given themselves a chance.
Bryant faced with a 3rd down and long. 5 for 11. 3rd down conversions tonight in this championship game. Ledbetter moving the pocket, going up deep. Got a man, tips it to himself, but he can't hang on. Oh, my. Josh Robinson again had a step behind the defender. Got one hand on it, but couldn't haul it in.
North Little Rock brought the house from the backside. Bryant rolls out to the right, but you see 23 in the bottom of your screen. Abram Terry applying the pressure. Probably had to let that football go just a second before he really wanted to, because you could see the receiver breaking free on the end of that route, just couldn't connect.
Ledbetter will stay out there to punt, and Attaway back deep to return. And that is a pretty good kick. Will it stay? It will not.
Saw this a lot in the first game today, and first time here today, flag coming in about 50 yards away from the action. And these are the type of penalties that will drive you bonkers as a coach. It's something that's that far away, because if this is against North Little Rock, you're going to get the ball on the 20. This may be going all the way back to the 10. 63-yard punt.
They've got 2 flags on the field. I'm not sure if there are 2 fouls. I believe there might be.
During the kick, personal foul, return team number 29 for a hit away from the football. The penalty is half the distance to the goal, resulting in a touchback. First down, North Little Rock.
So a personal foul penalty against North Little Rock backs them up.
That's not going to sit well with Jamie Mitchell. It's something that far away from the action. You think you're going to get the ball at the 20, and now all of a sudden you're backed up again at your 10.
That goes back to some frustration penalties for North Little Rock. They had the unsportsmanlike, which was offset by a Bryant unsportsmanlike, but now personal foul. Got to play within yourself in this game. North Little Rock hands off, or the pitch back rather, to Thomas. Thomas turns it upfield for a couple.
Neal again out to make that play.
Austin Bailey right there for Bryant as well. Let's go down and check in with Eric.
Yeah, Scott, just before that personal foul flag on North Little Rock, Josh Beck was on the sidelines. He dropped that critical pass there, had his hands on his knees, was beside himself. But one thing I like to see by this experienced Charger Wildcat team, all the starters said, hey, man, we need you. Get up here. Get your head up. We need you, because they got to have a guy make a play for him. Bobby, you've been saying it all half long. They've had one big play. Can they get a few more and get some points on the board? I think it'll change the whole dynamic of this game if the Wildcats get a 7 here.
Oscar Attaway the carry there. He got another 2, making it 3rd down and 5.
As one-sided as this game feels, 13-0 obviously not insurmountable. And one play, Eric just mentioned it, one play is going to get North Little Rock, their sideline, and their fans right back into this contest.
3rd down and 5. Cotton goes under center, pitches it to Thomas. Thomas will not get the first down. He ran right into big Jacob Neal again, the 6', 220 senior, having himself a game from the middle linebacking spot. 3-yard gain.
Just within the last couple of weeks, Jamie Mitchell decided to go for it on a 4th and 1, resulted in a 71-yard touchdown. Not going to risk it here as he sends the punt team out on about 4th and 2 from inside their 20.
Land also hit him low there. They get an assist on that tackle. And Josh Beck is back to punt again for the Charging Wildcats. Jake Metters at midfield to return, and flags before the snap.
A lot of movement, a lot of pointing. This is when you never want it to be against you, but if this is against Bryant, that's a free first down.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 3. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, remains 4th down.
You can start to feel a little tension in the stadium.
Yeah.
Starting to go. The press box here on the North Little Rock side, you can start, tension is starting to mount. This is not a situation North Little Rock has been in very often. And they only trailed in 2 football games all season long. Booker T. Washington, the opener, and then again against Bryant.
Beck from his own goal line. Shanks it out of bounds.
I should say that Southside had a lead on them a couple rounds ago in the playoffs as well.
And Bryant is going to have fantastic field position here. They will walk it off and put it down at the 34-yard line.
Punting hasn't been the prettiest.
Nope.
This one. You try to flip field positions. Punters haven't obliged today, and here we are, Bryant inside the 40.
Austin Ledbetter back in at quarterback for the Hornets. Hands off to Scott. And Scott looked like he was stopped, but keeps those legs churning and gets inside the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 6. Stop made by Kevin Wallace. Text AETN Sports to 313131 for updates. Handoff goes to Adams, and Adams is close to the first down inside the North Little Rock 25-yard line. He gets about 3. He's going to be about a yard short. Terrell Allen brought him down.
We haven't seen it yet with Ledbetter, but Bryant had a little success when Heffley on the option read pulled it and kept it himself as the quarterback. We'll see if they try to pull that out. Maybe not here, but later on this drive if they convert.
It's going to be Scott on 3rd and 1. Goes outside for the first down and is dropped at the 21-yard line by Dwayne Hunt, but it's 3 yards and it's enough to move the sticks. Wonder if you'll see nothing but Latavian Scott here.
Because now if you're Buck James, you're trying to get in the end zone, but you're also playing the clock game way too early in the 3rd quarter to be worried about how much time's left in this one. But if you can find a way to score and also bleed another 3 or 4 minutes, I don't think he'd hate it.
Scott and Adams back there, and they'll give it to Adams, and he gets nothing this time. Might even lose a yard.
Hunt was there to clean it up. It's 71, Sam Taylor, the defensive tackle for North Little Rock, able to get him on the ground.
It's a big play to start this series of downs for North Little Rock.
You know, Bryant's brought in 47. He's listed on the roster as Julian Gomez. I'm going to bet 47 on the field right now is not 5'8", 145. He's kind of that sniffer fullback. And as an extra blocker, look to run right behind him.
Ledbetter to throw. Fires incomplete, out of bounds. A late flag again. Josh Robinson, the intended receiver, and he had no space away from the defensive back, and that was well after the whistle. We get a flag, and Latavian Scott, his body language
Sam
looking
Taylor,
like it's against Bryant.
Sam Taylor, defensive end for North Little Rock, on the ground at the end of that play, but clapping. They might have got a late hit on the North Little Rock defensive tackle going against Bryant.
after the play was over, personal foul, offense, number 75. 15 yards from the
Those are the
previous
type of
spot.
penalties,
The down will
especially in that
count.
field position,
Third down.
you cannot have. Because you're almost guaranteed three points at that point. At least you think so. But now you're looking at third and Saline County Mile.
That is a great point, Bobby. They were in field goal range.
Saline County Mile. I love it.
They've almost got to get down I-30 to Bryant to get this first down.
How big is composure, guys, right now? My goodness, you got to stay with your head on straight.
Ledbetter throws it up. He's got a man, and it is caught inside the 5 by Butler. Grant Body, a 5'10 senior, hauls it in 35 yards, and it'll be a first and goal for Bryant.
3rd and 24. Situational football comes up, and Bryant with the first big play of the second half. Enormous conversion. Now they're knocking on the goal line again.
And how about for Grant Body, the senior? That's just his 10th catch of the season. And that was about the biggest one of his senior year. You can see a North Little Rock player on the sidelines there. And I think that is the defensive back who was covering on the play.
You don't expect to see cramps in December, but the way that today's been a kind of odd day weather-wise. Not quite as warm right now as it was this afternoon.
That's Slayton Clark, cornerback, getting stretched out there.
You know, you never want to see a player go down, but clearly he's dealing with some cramps here. Not the worst situation possible for North Little Rock's defense. It's kind of a chance to catch your breath. Clearly they're backed up against the wall, just 2 yards for a big running back, Latavian Scott. You know he's going to get the football a couple times here on the goal line, but give a chance for those defensive linemen to catch their breath, and maybe they've got to stand in them.
Yeah, Scott Slayton landed very awkwardly. That play happened right in front of me. I think he kind of landed right on his hip, so they're trying to get that flexor out as best as possible.
He gets up and able to walk off under his own volition.
A reminder to watch games after the broadcast at aetn.org/sports. Greenwood winning the 6A title earlier today on AETN Sports, and now Bryant trying to go up 3 scores. First and goal from inside the 5, and they give it to 23 again. Scott is short of the goal line. David Smith, one of the first guys to meet him for the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats. It's a gain of about 1. Under 6 minutes left in this third quarter. Been a game of momentum swings. Bryant had the ball inside the 35 to start this drive. It looked like the drive had been blown up with a personal foul, late hit call. Heffley in at quarterback. Then they hit a big third down. Now they give it to Scott, and Scott spins over the goal line for the touchdown.
You knew they were going to give him the football. The big man, first thing he goes and finds his offensive line and celebrates with him. He earned that half of a yard. That's going to look like the prettiest yard he's carried all season.
Third touchdown of this state championship game for Latavian Scott, and he pirouetted into the end zone, and I'm not sure they broke the goal line. It was very, very close.
That right elbow, Scott, that right elbow crossed just barely over.
Everything from the waist down was in the end zone, but just an elbow and the point of the football across, and that's all that matters.
Brock Funk on for the point after, and it splits the uprights with 5:36 left in this third quarter. Bryant has opened up a 20-0 lead over the defending state champs. We'll take a break and be back with more of the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
This year, PBS won 9 Emmy Awards, including more news and documentary Emmys than any other network. Congratulations to all our winners.
8-play, 34-yard drive in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. And Latavian Scott, his third rushing touchdown of the game, gives Bryant a 20-0 lead. Brock Funk set to kick off. Cedric Kane and Davion Larf back deep to return for the Charging Wildcats. Another short kick. That one's going to go out. Oh, I thought it does go out of bounds. It looked like it was going to stay in for a minute.
It's like one of those hops when you hit it off the tee. You think, oh, that could be trickling down out of bounds. It lands right in the fairway. It's like, oh, it's pretty good. Then it juts into the out of bounds.
Well, obviously, this is just the second of 6 state championships at War Memorial Stadium over the next couple of weekends. And many of those semifinals, because of the weather last night, being pushed to tonight, and some of those are starting to pop up as finals, Bobby.
Yeah, the first team to punch their ticket to the small school state championship games happened just a few seconds ago. The Boonville Bearcats, a perfect 14-0, and then thanks to an interception on 4th and goal in the last play of the game, able to beat Prescott 34-31. So Boonville back in the state title game for the first time since 2013.
North Little Rock trying to repeat as champs, but they are in a pretty good-sized hole now. Brandon Thomas with the handoff, and he busts off a tackle and another, and he's loose into Bryant territory inside the 20-yard line and brought down at the 15, and no flag. I thought we might see a late hit out of bounds there. The North Little Rock fans certainly wanted to, as Andrew Hayes threw him out of bounds.
We didn't see it at all in the first half, but we've already seen it a couple times here in the third quarter. The explosiveness of the backfield for North Little Rock makes a guy miss just beyond the line of scrimmage, and that's when he can turn on the speed. North Little Rock's offense is starting to get a little momentum, starting a little good confidence, but can they take advantage now that they're in the red zone?
A 52-yard run. That's more offense than they had in the whole first half on that run. Late in the third quarter now, and it's Thomas again. Nothing doing this time. Thomas is pushed back. Austin Bailey, the first man to wrap him up. He might have gotten a yard or less.
It's a big play for North Little Rock, but you've got to be able to put points. And a field goal at this point in the game is not going to be good enough. North Little Rock in 4-down territory. They've got to walk away with a touchdown, or this game could be slipping away from them.
First trip to the red zone tonight for the Wildcats. Handoff to Attaway, and Attaway can't turn the corner. Bryant defense led by Jacob Neal there again. They have played so sound, both on the outside runs and the inside runs tonight. Three Hornets running free there to make the stop. Gang tackling. It's 3rd down and 10. Attaway will line up to take the direct snap. Looks to throw it. Now he's going to run it. Turns the corner, but he will get minimal yardage. Flung out of bounds at about the 13-yard line, maybe a yard or two. Good pursuit by Nate Wallace.
It's a nice job by the defensive end to recognize the pass. Just goes down the line. Make sure that Attaway doesn't get to the outside, pushes him out of bounds. A crucial 4th and long now here for North Little Rock.
They don't want a field goal. They need a touchdown with 4:01 left in the third quarter, and they are being shut out to this point.
The way this game has transpired up to this point, I'd expect Bryant to drop 7, maybe even 8, and make Kareem Cotton beat you with his arm.
Well, they're going to talk things over. They want to get the right play call in this situation. Travel the state with Chuck Dovish on Exploring Arkansas each Wednesday night at 6:30 and weeknights at 10, only on AETN. Thanks to AETN Sports for their willingness to step up to the plate and put all of these games on across the state of Arkansas. A lot of folks in these communities all over the natural state that can't, for whatever reason, make the trip to Little Rock, and they get the opportunity to see their hometown team over the next couple of weekends play for a state championship. So a big call here. That last 3rd down stop makes North Little Rock 0 for 9 on 3rd downs tonight.
And for a team that prides itself on staying on the field, just grinding it out, moving the chains time and time again. That's a really surprising stat when you look about it, but with the way the Bryant defense has played tonight, maybe it's not all that surprising.
Well, we'll see what they dial up here. 4th down and 10. Going for it, down 20-0. Day and Thomas in the backfield. Day goes in motion. Cotton's going to throw. Has time. Steps up. Fires complete in the end zone. Touchdown, North Little Rock. 12 yards. Drew Martin.
Who's the playmaker in the red zone. Big tight end, committed to play at Memphis. Had been quiet all night long, but in the biggest spot, North Little Rock needed a play from their tight end, and Cotton finds his big target right down the seam at the goal line.
7th touchdown of the season for Drew Martin, a 6'4", 235 senior. His first catch tonight, 15th on the season. And North Little Rock finally gets on the board late in the 3rd quarter.
It's a big, big play.
Extra point is good.
Big play for North Little Rock. Gets the crowd back into it, gets a little momentum for North Little Rock. Had some success running the football, but now they've got some points to show for it.
Liam Selhorst put through the extra point, and the Wildcats have life, Eric Sullivan.
They certainly do, and I was told, Scott Emmett and Bobby Swafford, Kareem Cotton has a go-to guy, and he's delivered to him many times throughout this season and in the playoffs. It was number 15 right there, Andrew, and I read that you just watched him run that route to perfection, guys, and had that little bit of space. Cotton found him, and a new life for these Charging Wildcats. Hey, there's still 4 minutes in this 3rd quarter. Something else could happen for these guys.
It's pretty easy to see why he's his favorite target. 6'4", right down the middle. That's a perfectly run post route right down the middle of the Bryant defense. Really not a defense that can stop a perfect route and a perfect pass, and that was executed very, very well for North Little Rock.
So just the 2nd kickoff of the night for North Little Rock after they get on the board. The last one was the opening kickoff. Butler and Heron, as well as Aldridge, back deep for the Hornets. Off one hop, it'll be fielded by Heron. Heron brought down shy of the 25-yard line. Well, let's talk about Kareem Cotton, sophomore quarterback. I think maybe he had a little bit of nerves going early in this game. He certainly looked like he's settled in.
Yeah, he's starting to settle down a little bit. They don't ask a bunch of him, but if you are going to ask Cotton to throw the football, look for 15, the big target. They've tried a lot of these speed outs, the little hitch routes on the outside. I like the fact they're trying a little more higher percentage pass for a young quarterback who's going against a big-time defense.
So let's see how the Hornets answer. They'll bring Ledbetter back out at quarterback at the 3:51 mark in the 3rd quarter. Handoff Scott. Scott, big hole, and he's loose in the secondary. Midfield, 40, and run out of bounds. Shy of the 35-yard line by Davian Larf.
That's how you stunt the momentum for North Little Rock. They've got it going. Just give it to your bell cow, Latavian Scott. A huge, huge hole on the left side. You see it open up, and you watch the replay, and there's really not many North Little Rock defenders in the picture, and he's now at 144 yards on the evening.
A 39-yard run for the senior Hornet. Adams will spell him. He's in the backfield with Ledbetter. They give it to Adams. He fumbles, but alertly falls on the ball. But that's going to be a loss of about 3.
Real quick, Scott, Junction City, they punched their ticket for a state championship game. They double up Foreman in the 2A semifinals, 40-20. So the Dragons going to be in Little Rock next week.
Familiar territory for them as well. Both offenses starting to have a lot of success on the ground. Latavian Scott well over 100. 144, in fact, on the night for the Hornets. And whistles before the snap of the football.
Number 12. 5-yard penalty.
Did not get the snap off in time.
Remain 2nd down.
Just real quick, just while we're talking about it, or at least while I was talking about it, Junction City is going to take on Hazen. Hazen 42-0 win over Mount Ida. For the Hornets and the Dragons, 2A title next Friday night. Of course, you can watch it right here on AETN Sports. Shameless plug.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 18 after the lost yardage play on the fumble, and now the delay of game. Pressure applied, Ledbetter gets it off, and a good tackle as Scott made the catch. And he was fighting with Sam Taylor, but Taylor just would not let him go. That was a fine tackle by the senior defensive end.
You don't think of a defensive end getting out in the flat and making that kind of play. He's listed at 225. I'd say he's probably closer to 240, able to get out in the flat and bring down Scott one-on-one. That's a big-time play. He's got to come out, though, because the helmet came off.
Well, Bryant was here just not that long ago on their last touchdown drive. In fact, they had a 3rd down and long, and they converted. See if they turn Ledbetter loose on 3rd and long here. Ledbetter has time, steps up, throws incomplete, too high, and he was looking for body again.
The Bryant crowd, the Bryant bench wanted a flag, but not in that situation. You're not going to get a pass interference call unless it's blatant, especially when it's 3rd and 17.
Boy, nice looking pass there from Ledbetter. He was either off the mark a little, or if Bryant's fans were right, he was right on the mark, but his receiver couldn't get there.
Either way, North Little Rock going to get the football back, have a chance to cut this to a 1-score game, and clearly momentum is on their side.
Another low punt by Ledbetter. It's going to be fielded at the 9-yard line by Attaway, and Attaway is immediately dumped just outside the 5-yard line. There is another flag down back towards the line of scrimmage.
That's way back there.
34-yard punt for the moment. The velocity with which that ball was coming in, you think it was, just let it go. It's going to the end zone. Attaway fielded it almost over the shoulder.
You got a ball coming at you. You want to catch it.
Yep. Illegal block. Return team number 87. Half the distance to the goal. North Little Rock retains possession. 1st down.
Bad field position just got worse.
Blocking below the waist, the call. It's going to take them half the distance.
In the box score tomorrow morning, when you read the paper, it's only a 3-yard penalty. I think people still do that.
3-yard line is where North Little Rock starts. They got to stop defensively, but they got a long way to go. Now there's confusion on how many men they have on the field. Handoff to Brandon Thomas. Thomas gets a good push from his offensive line, but Dalen Land made a nice tackle around the ankles to minimize the gain.
We're starting to see the line of scrimmage move towards the Bryant secondary in the first half. Earlier in the 3rd quarter, it was going to the backfield of North Little Rock, but the guys up front for the Charging Wildcats have started to establish themselves. They've got some confidence, and they're starting to get some movement. That's why we're seeing successful 1st down there.
Well, you got to think it's a war of attrition. Always is, and on a fairly warm night, at least for December 1st, it certainly is as we head towards the final seconds of the 3rd quarter. Pitch back Thomas. Thomas shuffles and can't find much room. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. There was Jacob Neal again.
He went over the top to make that play. Some trash around his feet, so he decided to go airborne and made a play.
Thomas is now up over 100 yards as well. He got 52 on one run. So he's at 117, and Tavian Scott at 144. Feature backs getting it done tonight for both teams. 3rd and 6.
Confusion on lining up for North Little Rock there.
Yeah, and they're going to burn their 2nd time out.
Real quick, Scott, another team punching their tickets, and this time it's a defending champion. Arkadelphia started the season 0-5. They have won 9 in a row.
Wow.
4A state championship game a week from tonight.
What a story that is. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Eric.
Yeah, Scott, we're going to be talking about what Latavian Scott has done in this ball game, but let's really give our some major props to that Bryant defensive line. I mean, they've taken some shots here by North Little Rock's powerful running game, but for the most part, they've come out of the end zone only 7 points. So they have enough gas, that Bryant D-line, to hold off North Little Rock here in the 4th quarter. And, of course, this major 3rd down and 6 for North Little Rock. We'll see what they can do. They've got enough juice left in the can, as they say.
Yeah, well, there's been so much more offense in this third quarter. Guys, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I really don't know what to expect in the fourth.
This one's been back and forth. It's been momentum swings. It's been penalties. It's been negated penalties. It's been turnovers on special teams. This game's had a little bit of everything except for the offensive explosion, which I think we both expected.
Some punches thrown, Bobby, there earlier.
Yes, literally.
Third down, 6, deep in their own end. Cotton's been throwing the ball well. Being chased. He has to get rid of it, and there's a flag down. This could be grounding. Drew Martin, the intended receiver, but he... I don't know.
That was thrown in the vicinity of holding. That's probably going to be declined. Bryant's going to force North Little Rock into a 4th and 5.
That's what it is.
Holding, offense, number 64. That penalty is declined.
You think about that, why not back him up? 3rd and 5 is manageable, but a holding in that spot really does you no good. You're looking at a 3, maybe 4-yard penalty because of the half the distance in the field position.
Get the football back. Yeah, he got that close enough to receiver. And he may have been out of the tackles as well.
Right.
So Metters is back standing in his own 40. Bryant stands to get great field position. Of course, North Little Rock was in this position late in the first half. About the same time left, not much more than a minute then. And Attaway fumbled the football and gave Bryant the football back. And they turned the tables. Flags again before the snap of the football.
Defensively, they're taking a jab step, and I'm not sure you're allowed to do that. This may go against Bryant.
Yeah.
That might be close to a first down. While they're discussing it, we've got a 3A title game is set. Osceola going to take on Boonville. Seminoles beat Rising 37-28 tonight.
If it is against Bryant, I think it'd be about a half a yard short of a first down.
In the final minute.
Snap. Ball start. Offense, number 23.
It'll be against North Little Rock.
No discussion needed. That was a situation if you're Jamie Mitchell, you got 4th and a half a foot. You go for it in the final minute of the third quarter, but it doesn't matter at this point.
Bobby, I was wondering if the old snap infraction would be, since it did my boys in a couple months ago. Haven't seen that called yet, by the way, on any level of football. So
we saw it a couple times in the game earlier today.
Yeah,
we had some. Yeah. Oh, I missed those, I guess. I just thought they did it to a certain team.
We're too focused on 7-0.
Yeah, that's right.
At least Eric and I like each other.
Yeah.
I like Bobby. I don't know where this is coming from. I really don't.
Glad you clarified that for the viewers. Here's Metters, and he takes a fair catch at the 37-yard line of North Little Rock.
We've said it this entire second half, Scott. Great field position for Bryant.
Yeah, that's been a big factor in this game. No question about it. 32-yard punt.
You get at the high school level, special teams are so important. A bad kickoff here, a bad punt there, a big return can really change the momentum of a football game, and North Little Rock just has not been able to flip the field position.
Big moment for the North Little Rock defense. They've got to keep Bryant out of the end zone here. Ledbetter gives it to Latavian Scott. Makes a man miss, but he is snowed under after about a yard pickup. And if Bryant chooses, that could be the final play of the third quarter. The stop made by Kevin Swart.
I'd be very shocked if Bryant lined up to run another play. It looks like they're going to walk to the sideline. Take this 13-point lead, the same lead they had at the half, through the fourth quarter, and you got to feel pretty good about your chances right now, just 12 minutes away from their first ever state championship for Bryant.
Well, North Little Rock got on the board in the third quarter, but Bryant held serve. They had a 13-point lead at halftime. They'll take a 13-point lead to the final 12 minutes when we come back. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
The moment of discovery. You can't beat it.
There's a dream that waits like a tiger.
That was amazing.
An ember that grows to a fire. And we're climbing to the greatest heights. The world can't stop us now. They try to bring us down, but we just burn brighter.
Wow, how about that?
nothing like this in the world.
Welcome back to War Memorial Stadium. The Bryant Hornets trying to win their first ever state championship, and they are 12 minutes away, and they have a great opportunity to stretch the lead. 2nd down and 9 at the North Little Rock 35-yard line. Austin Ledbetter, the sophomore quarterback, hands it off to Latavian Scott, and he's hit and dropped in the backfield by Sam Taylor.
Sam Taylor's had a heck of a day. But that's his 4th or 5th tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Forces Bryant into another 3rd and long.
Trying not to squander fantastic field position. They started this drive a yard better than where they are now.
The North Little Rock crowd starting to get a little life. They haven't had a whole lot to cheer about tonight. So the big stands here could get them with a chance to get right back into this contest.
Ledbetter sets up. Fires incomplete. Went through the hands of Hayden Schrader. There is a flag down in the vicinity of a pass interference call. Slayton Clark defending on the play for North Little Rock.
Yeah, that one's questionable.
There's 2 flags down, actually. There's one at the line of scrimmage as well.
Pass interference, defense number 29. 15 yards from the previous spot. That results in a 1st down. After the play was over, sideline warning, North Little Rock. This is their first warning of the game.
Well, they didn't like the call. Jamie Mitchell came off the sideline. That's the home crowd doesn't like it. So that's one of those bang-bang plays. They haven't really called it much today. You might let that one go in that situation.
They just showed the replay here at the stadium, and you're getting to see it as well. I don't know about that one either.
A high pass, but either way, 1st down for Bryant.
Handoff Scott. Oh, and he had a hole, but boy, it collapsed on him. What a play defensively by Dwayne Hunt. It looked like that was set up to be a big game, but Hunt dropped Scott for a 1-yard loss. Second and 11 for the Hornets. The handoff again to Scott. He shakes one tackler, but can't shake another. Kevin Scorse makes another stop.
Another big play here for North Little Rock. See if they can force the 4th down situation. This is no man's land for Bryant. You think they've missed an extra point already here today. Got a sophomore kicker. You think this is probably 4-down territory for the Hornets. Let's look for them to try to pick up something short, 3-4 yards, to get a 4th and manageable.
That would be about a 40-yard field goal if they don't get another yard. Ledbetter, with a man in his face, will throw it away. Boy, North Little Rock has turned up the heat defensively. Abram Terry right in Ledbetter's face. He had no chance to connect with Latavian Scott.
Untouched. Came from depth. The linebacker blitz from the outside. This tackle could not get out there on the designed rollout, and he was in Ledbetter's face, and the young quarterback able to get it out of his hands just in the nick of time.
Bryant's offensive line has done a pretty good job tonight of giving their quarterbacks time to throw.
And guys, Latavian Scott refuses to come off the field. When asked a couple of times if he needs a breather, he says, "No way, this is my time."
4th down and 10. Ledbetter. Incomplete.
Big play.
Intended for Jake Metters. Metters may have even pushed off a little bit there.
He did. North Little Rock tried to run a stunt up front, but nicely picked up by Bryant's offensive line. Gave their quarterback time, but just, again, good coverage in the back end. The pass interference doesn't hurt North Little Rock, with the exception of an extra minute and a half or so ran off the clock.
Well, they shut down the Bryant running game on 4 carries on that possession, and then got themselves in an opportunity where they could execute a pass rush with long down and distance, and they get the football back, trailing by 13. The pitch to Thomas, and Thomas a minimal gain.
It's a nice job by the Bryant defense to set the edge, able to force Thomas back to the inside. That play's designed to get out to the edge, but Bryant forces it back in. Minimal gain.
3-yard pickup. We'll call it 4. Second and a long 6 upcoming. Well, you do get the feeling, I mentioned it earlier, it's a war of attrition in those trenches right now. Just when you think one line is starting to dominate, the other line makes a play. Cotton's going to throw. Scrambling now. He's going to run. He is hit hard at the 31-yard line by Jacob Neal.
He's been all over the field, sideline to sideline. Cleans up Cotton there, forces another 3rd and short. If Cotton can keep his eyes downfield just for a second longer, he's got a receiver running behind the defense. You see 11 there, the end of the play. Hindsight's a lot easier up here, though.
Well, he's got a 3rd down and short to deal with. Brandon Thomas, the lone setback, and he'll go for it. He's got the 1st down. And he's still on his feet outside the 45-yard line all the way out to the 48.
It's a big play. Get out to midfield. 8.5 left now for North Little Rock. Plenty of time in today's day and age of high school football.
Tamarian Wilson tripped him up for Bryant after a 12-yard gain. Wildcats trying to put the pressure on Bryant. You can see the clock, 8:20 and under. North Little Rock needs 2 scores. Handoff on the end around. Thomas cuts it back upfield and runs into a wall. Led by Austin Bailey for the Hornets.
You'd almost rather see Attaway keep going to the outside, see if he can beat the Bryant defender to the corner. Instead tries to cut it up. Does get a couple of yards. You never know what can happen if you keep stretching it out. It's good leverage, though, by the Bryant defense.
Yeah, Bobby and Scott, time's becoming a factor. We're already ticking down to 7 minutes to go here. Down 2 scores.
And North Little Rock's not a team that does anything in a hurry.
2nd down and 8. Lots of pre-snap motion. Cotton's going to throw. It's caught by Beck. He bobbled it, and that may have cost him a few yards. He gets it inside the 45-yard line, and a big 3rd down coming up after a gain of 4.
That screen was set up pretty well. They had blockers out in front, but the high throw by Cotton, Beck had to go up and get it. It's one of those things where if you hit him in stride, maybe he gets a 1st down. Just can't get it going. Got the attendance here, 20,000 plus. 20,631. I believe that's number 2 all time.
3rd down and 4. They give it to Thomas, and Thomas makes and breaks a tackle. He's got the 1st down for North Little Rock, spinning his way down inside the 35-yard line.
They're leaning. We talked about at the top of the show, Scott. This is a team that is going to lean on you and eventually force you to make a mistake. Bryant maybe wearing down a little bit defensively up front, and North Little Rock got a fresh set of downs. Yeah, that is officially the 2nd largest attendance in Arkansas high school state history.
Cotton to throw. Had a man in the middle of the field. Now he's scrambling for his life, and Bryant will sling him down way back towards the midfield stripe. Guess who? Kawan Robinson.
Another big play. That is a young sophomore play by Cotton. You got to find, you roll to your right, you're outside of the pocket. You just got to throw that one in the front row. Instead, he tries to do too much. It goes back to his left, and he's just swallowed up by the big 300-pounder in the big middle of the Bryant defense, and now North Little Rock is really backed up against it.
Yeah, better just to throw it into the 1st row there. A 13-yard loss.
Bobby and Scott, number 28, thrown to the ground. He was wide open. That caused Kareem to go try to do something a little too much, but I cannot believe that one was missed. He was simply thrown to the ground.
It's 2nd and 24 now, and the clock under 6 minutes. Cotton on the slant pattern. He's incomplete, intended for Battles. He was hit right as the ball arrived.
It's good coverage by Hayes, in the secondary for Bryant. 3rd and 24. These are not situations that North Little Rock wants to be in.
Yeah, and you are right about the clock. 5:40 now and needing 2 scores. This is certainly, I would think, 4 down territory. Well, I mean, it may be 4th and 24, but I don't know. You got to go.
Yeah.
2 scores, I think it's 4 down territory no matter what. Cotton's going to throw. He has time, and he throws into the sidelines. Braylon Battles was the closest guy to it.
Cotton now just 4 of 14 passing for 12 yards. In this situation, I don't disagree with Jamie Mitchell's decision to punt. Ideally, you pin Bryant deep in their own end of the field, maybe inside the 10. You got timeouts. You can burn just 1 actually now for North Little Rock, but maybe you can get something going with your defense.
Well, and I get 4th and 24. I do. I mean, it's desperation if you're doing it. But I just don't know if they're going to get the ball back twice.
Yeah, or even if they do, there won't be a whole lot of time left.
Greatly depends on what their defense does.
It's a step number 1.
Yep, pin them deep.
So now you just need a big-time play from your defense. Maybe a ball comes free. Now you never coach it. Jamie Mitchell will never say tackle the football. But now is this instance where North Little Rock needs to get the football on the ground.
Yes, Bobby, in fact, just heard Coach Buck James and his staff protect the football. They've done a heck of a job of it tonight. So this is their season right here. They get a couple first downs, it's over.
Yep, exactly right. North Little Rock's had to burn a couple timeouts on offense because of alignment issues. And that's really when it comes back to haunt you. They only have 1 left here in the last 5.5.
So Bryant needs a couple of first downs and to hang on to the football, and they're state champs. Handoff, Latavian Scott makes a man miss in the backfield. Lays the stiff arm and is run out of bounds close to the 10-yard line by Kevin Scorfs.
That's kind of a plus and a minus for Bryant. You get 6 yards, a successful first down, but he goes out of bounds, which will stop the clock. It's a de facto timeout for North Little Rock.
That's a great point. Last thing Scott wanted to do was stop the clock there.
He's trying to get everything he can out of that run and maybe take a dive and try to stay in bounds.
We'll see a lot of Scott on this drive, I'm sure. Lowers his head, trying to dig with those legs, gets closer to the first down marker, but he's still going to be a yard shy, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down as the clock gets under 5. 3-yard pickup, scores with the stop again for North Little Rock.
Charging Wildcats bringing an extra defensive lineman here. Chris Wimberly, 260 pounds, checks in. They're going to go 3 defensive tackles up front. They're expecting Scott to go straight ahead.
6 inches, boys. I'm looking right at it. 6 inches for a first down.
It's Scott again, and it's going to be close.
The final lunge might have got him across that, but this is going to be really, really close.
I haven't seen a measurement yet. See if they're going to do one here, and they will. They'll stop the clock. Lets us tell you to support public media in Arkansas. Visit aetn.org. What do you think, Eric Sullivan?
He's got it. I think he's got it. What I'm looking at right now, and I don't know if they have the note cards available or anything like that, but looks like he's got about an inch, guys.
Test the eagle eye here.
I'm glad it's not me because my eyes are not eagle eyes.
Whoa.
An inch.
Attaboy, Eric.
I'm done for the night, guys. I'm out of here.
It's pretty well done. That is a demoralizing first down for North Little Rock, and you can start to see some of the fans head for the exits on the home side.
Hey, fans, at the end of this game, state champions merchandise will be available online at ArkansasHighSchoolSports.com. Get the same merchandise available at the stadium online. At the conclusion of this game, get your gear at ArkansasHighSchoolSports.com. Latavian's got the ball carrier, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe picks up a couple.
And this is when you're Bryant. You're slow to get off the pile. You're slow to get up. You know, you don't exactly hand the football back to the official. You waste as much time as you possibly can before they set it.
At what point do you think about if North Little Rock burning that timeout?
I think if you get to third down, you burn it here. If you get a stop here on second down, you go ahead and waste it. Force a third down. Get a fresh defense out there and try to get off the field.
It's Scott again. Nowhere to go. We'll see if they burn it. Doesn't look like they're going to. So it will be down close to 2.5 before the conclusion of the third down play.
If you're Bryant here, you just run the football. You don't take the risk of an incomplete pass, an interception, or anything of the like. You just give it Scott. You say 2 hands on the football. You run straight ahead, get what you can get, then go down and force North Little Rock to take their last time out.
Well, guys, they're showing a pass. Look, now they bring the fullback back in. There we go.
Spread them out. Try to hit you right up the guts.
I love this fullback, man. Whoa.
Third down and 10. They are going to throw.
Wow.
Ledbetter to the sidelines, incomplete. It was intended for Schrader.
It's a good throw, long throw, hit his receiver in the hands, but that's another free timeout. That's twice on that drive that Bryant was able to stop the clock for North Little Rock. Once on Scott getting out of bounds in the incomplete pass, and now North Little Rock is going to get the ball back, you think, probably around midfield with about 2:20 left and have a timeout. There is a little life.
Well, it's a safe pass play. The out route to the sidelines, long throw to make. Yeah. But, again, like you said, if you don't connect with it, the game's over. If you don't, you stop the clock, give them a free timeout. Coach James gambled with it, and he gets a pretty good punt depending on where they mark that sailing out of bounds.
Yeah, and Scott and Bobby, I just saw Coach James. I don't think that was his call, but that just tells you how much he believes in his offensive coordinator to do that. But he had that look on his face.
36-yard punt by Ledbetter, so it's down to this. North Little Rock needs 2 scores, and they have 2 minutes and 22 seconds to get it and 1 timeout.
Either way you look at it, you got to get a quick strike and an onside kick. If you're North Little Rock, you can't let Bryant get the football back, and they got the swinging gate.
Yeah, they're going to have to pull some creativity out here. Now they're bringing them back.
Oh, over the other side. Somewhere Barry Switzer's happy.
Cotton over the middle, incomplete. One hopped his intended receiver, Josh Beck. You're putting a lot on the sophomore quarterback, and Beck is slow to get up.
Yeah, Beck, guys, had a couple of plays tonight. He's a guy you love to have on your team. That go back to the second quarter, I believe, Bobby. That was an easy conversion for North Little Rock trying to get in the end zone a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, I believe that was a 4th and 12. The play you're talking about hit him right in the hands, but he's down right now, and he's got the attention of several trainers.
And guys, I am surrounded by Bryant's superintendent, principal, all their administration, and the thought of 2 minutes and 18 seconds of winning their first ever state championship they're acting like the students are right now. They're fired up about all this.
He took a knee to the back, it looks like Beck did, as he went down.
Well, they'll attend to him. You never want to speculate, they're going to get him up. That's good to see. Yeah, that's good to see. The way he was down, it did not look good. Yeah. And I didn't even want to say it didn't look good.
Yeah, this is a brutal mindset right now for everyone on that visiting sideline. Yeah. That clock can't move fast enough.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there, you look up and it's like, how did only 4 seconds run off that clock? Why isn't the clock running? Everything's going through your minds. But North Little Rock, they tried the shenanigans there, didn't quite work. We'll see what they do. I think you've got to try to get Martin in a one-on-one situation.
How about the fans, too, for Bryant, the students? This has never happened. They've never made it this far. And they've got a chance to win their first state title. But North Little Rock with the football. Cotton going deep up the field. Incomplete. Intended for Christopher Jefferson. Met at the football by Andrew Hayes.
It's not a situation you want if you're Bryant. You never want a 50-50 ball behind the defense. But he was running free behind, but nice job by Hayes to get back and break the pass up and live to fight another day. You got to believe they're going to drop a few safeties and just give North Little Rock the underneath stuff, keep the clock running. Just don't let anything behind you. You got to believe that was either a busted coverage or a blown assignment.
So he had a trick play, and he had the home run ball. And now it's 3rd and 10. They're going to go to the ground.
Halfback pass.
With Attaway, he's looking to throw it, and he's just going to have to throw it away.
Great job by Bryant's defense.
Yep.
This is where you empty the playbook, and Jamie Mitchell's doing it. None of it's working.
One play away, and the Hornets can take a knee. They still haven't burned their timeout, though, so they could stop the clock, but obviously it's still a 2-score game. This is absolutely the ball game.
We've got a one-on-one matchups. This is when you try to take advantage of it.
Cotton will go under center. And he's going to run for the first down. Makes a nice move, tripped up at the sticks. I think he's going to have it.
Yeah, looks like that final lunge. Looks like they are going to give it to him.
And the Wildcats are still alive. Dalen Land brought him down for the Hornets. But it will be enough for a first down after an 11-yard run by the sophomore quarterback Kareem Cotton.
You'd like to see a little more urgency from North Little Rock. They weren't on the ball when they played it for ready for play, so they're going to burn about 4 or 5 seconds before they snap this off.
They'll go back to the eye. Cotton to throw again. Has good time. Now he's flushed out. One arms it complete to his go-to guy, Martin. And Martin is inside the 20-yard line. And North Little Rock still has life.
They're not a no-huddle team. They get in the huddle even though there's just 1:36 left. They huddle up. These are precious and valuable seconds. I understand you can't tie the game if you don't score here. You like to see them move a little quicker.
90 seconds left in the ball game. Quick pass out to Attaway, and Attaway is wrestled down inside the 10-yard line, right at the sticks again.
And North Little Rock will burn their last timeout.
There it is.
You like to see Attaway, instead of breaking in, go to the outside, try to get out of bounds, save that timeout.
There's a yard shy, so they'll be at the 10-yard line. Boy, North Little Rock still giving their fans hope here, though. They were down to 4th and 10 at midfield just moments ago. They can still get in the end zone and try the onside kick with 1:20 left in the game.
Well, yeah, the most important thing here coming out of the timeout is A, getting the first down, but B, getting in the end zone in a timely fashion, because it doesn't matter if you score, there's no time on the clock and you don't give yourself a chance to get the onside kick.
Watch the programs you love when you want with AETN Passport. Learn more about this on-demand streaming benefit at aetn.org. Eric, North Little Rock still giving their fans hope.
Absolutely, Scott. And how about Andrew Smith? He's a guy that's almost unguardable, but with North Little Rock style, it's just tough to get him the ball. But you saw him right there, Bobby. You really bragged on him. When he's in space, they can't guard him. So maybe 15 gets a look for a quick strike touchdown here.
It's the play they scored on earlier, the post right down the middle to Martin, 15. They got a safety over the top of him. It looks like Martin's going to have the middle of the field here.
And Cotton is going to be hit and thrown down, loses the football. It is picked up by Bryant, and he is off to the races. Nate Wallace will score 90 yards, and the Hornets will be state champs.
An emphatic nail in the coffin. And the Bryant defense, which has dominated this football game at times, comes through in the biggest moment possible.
And it's the big guy, Bobby Kawan, getting it done.
99 has had himself a heck of a day. Of course, the guys who score touchdowns, they're going to get the MVP. But my hat off to 99.
Let's take another look. The big man forcing the fumble, and Cotton just loose with the football. And I'll tell you what, that kid doesn't run like a defensive end. Nate Wallace got down the sidelines in a hurry.
He wanted it, Scott. He wanted a 6, man.
Brock Funk puts the point after up, and it's good. And the Bryant Hornets lead it 27-7. We'll take a break and be back with the end of this one. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
You won't find it written in the sky.
Art can be seen as so foundational to civilization.
You can't buy a ticket to it tonight.
You
just had an electrifying impact on me.
What we found was amazing.
Why not be absolutely outrageous?
It came like a razor blade.
Art is a mirror of the experiences of being here.
It's officially a 78-yard fumble return for Nate Wallace.
It's the third longest fumble return in state championship history, and what an emphatic way for Bryant, their team, and their fans to celebrate the school's first ever state championship.
Davian Larf will field the kickoff from Brock Funk. And North Little Rock will get a chance to run a few more plays, but with 1 minute and 1 second left, down 20. The celebration is underway in the stands, on the sidelines.
Scott and Bobby, I'm happy to report breaking news here. Coach Buck James is smiling ear to ear. Don't see that very often.
He won't be as soon as that Gatorade bucket finds him, though.
Yeah, we'll have to be on the Gatorade bucket watch again, Eric.
Okay, I'm on it.
That's a fitting way for this game to end. No matter what happens in this last 61 seconds, the way the Bryant defense has played in this football game, it is fitting that they find their themselves into the end zone.
The catch is made by Randall Abrams, but he took a big shot.
I think they're going to get him with a defenseless receiver penalty on that. That was Cottrell Wallace, big outside linebacker, 6'6", 215 pounds. He lowered the shoulder, but I think they're going to get him with an unsportsmanlike.
The receiver is certainly wobbly. Abrams got up, and now he goes back down. His bell has certainly been rung.
That's a frame that stands out. Wallace, you can't hide. You're 6'6", 215 pounds. You deliver a blow like that in the open field.
Personal foul, defense, number 88. Targeting, blow to the head. This is ruled to be a flagrant act. Number 88 is disqualified from the contest.
Yep, targeting the call. And that'll be it for Cottrell Wallace. Coach James unhappy with the targeting call.
The unfortunate part of this is if it's ejected and they actually execute it, he's got to go to the locker room, which means he won't be on the field for the celebration at the end of the game.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was a hard hit, but it was in the shoulder pad. He did not lead with his head. And I think that's what Coach James is upset about now. He's going to get flagged. Well, you hate to see this in the final minute.
Well, Scott, he's fighting for his kid.
Yep.
He's fighting for his kid, wanting to be on the field here, not sitting to the locker room. That's what he was doing.
That's a great point.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
Emotions take over there. Look, my guys fought hard all game long, and I want him on the field for the celebration. That's exactly right.
And Wallace is making his way up the ramp.
What do you think?
The shoulder pad did get her up around the helmet. You never know where a receiver is going to go with his body. The ball's in the air. He's not leading with his head, but it was a blow to the head of the receiver.
And it looks like the injury is actually in the lower body for Abrams. He can't put pressure on his left foot, left leg. So it's a 15-yard penalty, and the ball at the 43-yard line, under a minute to go.
And the unsportsmanlike on the coach makes it 30.
That's right, 2 15-yarders, you're right. And Cotton is going to be sacked by, guess who, Nate Wallace. The guy who returned the fumble moments ago picks up another sack.
They've just controlled this football game. The front four for Bryant have done anything and everything they wanted to. Take another look at it. He just beats his man, the swim move on the inside, and Cotton had no chance to get rid of the football.
And Coach James still screaming, this makes no sense in regards to this player being ejected.
Cotton trying to run for it, and again brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
Again, it's Wallace.
And I think North Little Rock may be done. I don't think they're going to run another play. Loss of 2, and the Bryant Hornets can start the celebration. I should say continue the celebration. It started after that 78-yard fumble return by Nate Wallace. The Hornets are state champs for the first time in school history.
It's been a long time coming.
And there it is. He almost got Coach Mitchell with it as well.
I was about to say, guys, I don't think you ever do that to the opposing coach, but Coach Mitchell, first-class guy, knows Buck James very well, and what a scene here. As you guys keep saying it, first ever state championship. What a feeling.
Well, and you got to say, you said it too, Bobby, the Bryant defense deserves the tip of the hat here. The North Little Rock Wildcats held to 7 points tonight. They got to within 13 at 20-7. They had the opportunity as defending state champs to take control of the game, and Bryant's defense just would not let it happen.
Yeah, and more importantly, North Little Rock had the ball down just 13 points, and Bryant's defense stiffened, got them off the field, got their offense another chance, and you see the total stats, just 187 yards for an offense that's used to churning up 3, 4, maybe even 500 yards in North Little Rock. That defense, I've heard it from several coaches across the state, the best in Arkansas, and they showed it tonight.
The Bryant players going to give some high fives to the student section. They have been out in full force tonight. They've been out in full force all season. They call them the Swarm. All the white-shirted kids over there in the southeast end zone. Been a big supporter of this football team. And they're getting some love from their football classmates.
It's a tough pill to swallow for North Little Rock, but 25 consecutive wins, tied for the second longest at the large school level in Arkansas. It's an outstanding season. They're not going to feel like it, but 25 wins in a row comes to an end.
Well, Coach James spending some time getting some hugs from his family now. The MVP of this one's going to be Latavian Scott. No big surprise there. Latavian finishes with 31 carries, 153 yards, and 3 touchdowns. A 4.9 yards per carry average. Latavian Scott going out on top. He had a big night.
The second quarter, he really took control of this football game. Broke a couple long runs, fought for the pylon, got in and gave him a 2-score lead. Latavian Scott was a grown man on this football field. And those are the type of players you expect to come up in these types of situations. You want your players to make plays. I know it's cliche, but the biggest player made the biggest plays in the biggest stage.
Post-game interviews still to come. Stay with us on the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
You won't find it written in the sky.
Art can be seen as so foundational to civilization.
You can't buy to get to it tonight.
It just had an electrifying impact on me.
It's harder and harder to see what's true, but it's never been easier when I'm with you. Yeah, it's harder and harder and harder to doubt these things.
What we found was amazing.
But when I see the smile across your face and the sunrise lights up another day,
Why not be absolutely outrageous?
And it came like a razor blade.
Art is a mirror of the experiences of being here.
Hornets win it 27-7 to capture their first ever state championship over the defending champs, the North Little Rock Wildcats, snapping their 25-game winning streak. The Hornets finish with 11 victories against 2 losses. As we take a look at the final numbers, the total yards, obviously Bryant has the considerable edge there. The third down conversions, 8 of 18, not fantastic for Bryant, but look what the Bryant defense does to North Little Rock. 2 out of 14 on third down. The rushing yardage and the passing yardage, both in Bryant's favor as well.
And the number on the bottom of the screen, 1 fumble loss. You don't think it's that big of a deal, but how it happened, the muff punt that gave Bryant the football back instead of great field position for North Little Rock right before the half. Instead, the Hornets get the ball, able to go down and take a 2-score lead going into the break.
Well, Eric Sullivan is down there among the Hornets, among the celebration, and he will be grabbing some interviews for us in just a bit. But Eric, while you're down there, describe the scene for us.
Of course, just elation for the Bryant Hornet fans. I mean, you've waited, I think Shane Broadway said 89 years they've been waiting for this. So that is a long, long time. We all know Shane Broadway, super Saline County fan right there. And I just think, guys, right now, Coach Buck James is so hot about what happened to his player getting ejected. He just doesn't really want to talk to anybody right now. And I totally understand that because, I don't think, Bobby, you've done a lot more games than I have, probably you too, Scott. A player getting ejected with, under a minute to play. So maybe a learning experience for the young man, but I wish he was here with his teammates. I really do.
Well, you say that. He's actually out there. We just saw him.
Yeah, he's actually out there because I guess the game's over now.
Okay.
He's on the field, and he's now making the rounds.
Okay, good deal. Good deal.
Just got a hug from his head coach.
Just not out there for that initial jubilation, if you will. It's disappointing. He made a big hit, made a big play. But I don't think he's going to remember not being there because he's going to get that ring that's going to be all nice and shiny in a few months.
The official attendance tonight, 20,631, about 5,000 shy of the 7A record. We thought we might break that tonight. Tyrese Francis will be the Burlsworth Trophy award recipient for North Little Rock, and Nate Wallace for Bryant will be the Burlsworth Award recipient. And as we already told you, Latavian Scott is the state championship most valuable player.
Got to give credit to Wallace. He's the one that had the 78-yard fumble return for a touchdown, back-to-back sacks on that last possession. He really took over this football game on the defensive line. He didn't have a huge second half, but the way he played, Kawan Robinson, we've talked about him a little bit throughout this game.
Oh, I'm with you, Bobby. Outstanding.
2 sacks, 6 tackles in the game, really controlled the interior part of the line of scrimmage. And North Little Rock likes to run it up the middle. We saw Tyler Day really couldn't get anything going rushing. And he's the fullback, just 4 carries for 8 yards. And he's a guy that usually stirs the drink for the North Little Rock offense. But Big 99 and Whites wasn't going to let that happen tonight.
And I kind of told you guys at one point in the fourth quarter they were trying to give Scott a break, and he just waved off Coach James. He said, no, I got us here tonight. I'm going to stay and finish this game. So not so much a big second half, guys, but I think he protects the ball. He gets you 3 or 4 yards. That clock was moving, so outstanding job by that young man.
He's 5'10", 208. The way he runs, you got to think he's going to be given a chance to play at least on a Division II level, maybe even on the FCS level.
Yeah, he's got the talent. You saw some breakaway speed, but more importantly, he finishes runs. Not many times did he fall backwards. He was leaning forward most of the night. Hat off to the 7A state championship game MVP.
And at the end of the day, guys, the defensive line, Bobby, you hit on it a moment ago. At one point, I really thought North Little Rock was going to get to him and finally get into the end zone. They did get 7 points, but even though the last couple of drives, they stood tall and stood strong and made North Little Rock uncomfortable all game long.
Well, Latavian is posing with pictures we can see from up here now on camera. I think they were getting ready to bring him to you. But he's getting a little distracted. He's got to hold that MVP award first.
That's a well-earned hardware for Latavian Scott.
Big hugs with Nate Wallace right there.
You can tell he is beloved, not only by his teammates, but I think the statue will be him someday. What do y'all think?
Yeah, you mentioned the statue of Buck James. It may be Latavian Scott right there next to him.
And Coach James will be just fine with that. Where's he at?
He's at the 42 if you need some help there, Eric Sullivan.
Yeah, he's the one that's got TV cameras in his face, that's for sure. Yeah.
Scott, North Little Rock is a team that's had tremendous success. But I don't think anybody would have imagined how good Bryant's defense was and played tonight. There
he is. Eric's chasing him down. Eric, we're ready for you whenever you want to be.
Hey, by the way, you're our broadcast favorite player of the game. How does it feel to end the state finals championship with you scooping and scoring like that, Mr. Wallace?
It's beyond crazy. You always dream of doing that. And then in state, and then my boy Kawan just set it up, picked it up, scooped, and I knew my guys had my back, so I knew I was going to take it to the house.
Your defensive effort as a team tonight, talk about that. North Little Rock is very good. We all know that. What did y'all do to stop them all night?
We just took what they did. They had total confidence in what they did. We took total confidence in what we could do. And we knew we could hold them. And we knew that we could win. And that's what we just bought into. The whole team, the offense, and we proved it. 27-7.
Hey, first ever state championship at Bryant. How's that sound, my man?
Oh, it sounds fantastic. It sounds unbelievable. I can't believe it. And more to come, hopefully.
All right, man. Congratulations. You'll be remembered forever in Bryant and maybe the state of Arkansas for that scoop and score. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That's crazy. I didn't even think of that. Thank you.
Take care, man. Good stuff right here. All right, we got Coach James now coming over, and congratulations, Coach Buck James. State championship ending was not what we wanted to see right there, but your team's defensive performance, we'll get to Latavian in a moment, that defense was just stout all night.
Well, Coach Sanders and Coach Quick and Coach Schuler, outstanding job. I mean, we had people in the right places. The thing we did better this time than last time is we made tackles. We fitted. We were where we were supposed to be, and we just had to be tough. You know, I told them all week long we got to play John Wayne football. And, I mean, you know, when you play a team that tough, I mean, if you're not tough yourself, it ain't going to happen. And our kids showed up and played a little John Wayne football.
How about Latavius Scott? I seen him wave over to you, don't take me out, don't take me out. The guy was just a machine for you tonight.
Well, he's done it all year long. I mean, he's probably one of the finest players I've ever coached. He's got his heart's as big as he is. And, you know, he's got a great offensive line in front of him. But that guy plays with a lot of motion. He's, you know, I think arguably he's the best back in the state of Arkansas. And he's proven it for 14 weeks.
You've built this program. You've been taking steps. Coach Buck James, to haul up that first ever state championship trophy. What's it mean, not only for you, your staff, your players, and, of course, you got a great town there to support you?
Well, you know, I'm happy for the community of Bryant. I think that our administration has been outstanding. They've let us coach them. Those parents have let us coach those kids. And, you know, it just not happened. I mean, it's a combination of great players, great coaching, and administration's got to be on board, and then parents have got to let us coach the kids, and that's what happened.
Coach, congratulations. Great job.
Appreciate it.
All right, Coach James, Scott Inman, Bobby Swafford will be getting Mr. Latavian Scott in just a moment, if you let me go get him real quick, guys.
All right, thank you, Eric. I just wonder, as I hear Coach James say, we had to tell him to play John Wayne football, if they had to show him a John Wayne clip. Do they know who John Wayne is, Bobby?
They probably ask, what's wrong with this TV? Why isn't there any color on it?
Yeah, that's right. But what a great line there, because it was about toughness. It wasn't about a lack of ability or lack of confidence. It was, as we said, a war of attrition. Who was going to be the toughest team?
Right. It really was.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back with a final word. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
Hey, a reminder, Bryant fans, you can purchase state champions merchandise by visiting ArkansasHighSchoolSports.com. The same merchandise being sold at the stadium is available online. So celebrate your championship and support your school by wearing the official state champions gear. Get your gear at ArkansasHighSchoolSports.com. Eric Sullivan standing by with the state championship most valuable player.
All right, welcome back, guys. You're not only the man tonight, Latavian Scott, you're no longer a myth. You all going to be a legend one day. Talk about your performance tonight.
I think I ran the ball pretty good behind the offensive line. They gave me a lot of big major holes and a lot of key blocks. They got me big time runs and led the offense to score a touchdown.
Congrats on the MVP. Your team was outstanding. Real quickly, to be state champs for the first time, what's it mean?
it just means the world to us. It means the world to the whole team. We just wanted this. We wanted it so bad. And whoever wanted it more, that's who got it. That's what happened. We wanted it. We wanted it so bad.
Great effort, young man. Go celebrate with your teammates there.
Yes, sir.
All right, Latavius Scott, your MVP. Scott, it's been I don't know if we can top this one tonight, but we got another one tomorrow, my man.
It was a great finish, and a reminder to order your DVD of today's game. You can relive it anytime you want. Just check it out at FidelityLocal6.com. What a fantastic finish to a fantastic game. Congratulations to Greenwood earlier today, finishing off the state championship against Benton, and to the Bryant Hornets in our nightcap here tonight. And as Eric mentioned, Bobby, we get to do it all again tomorrow, and it will be a shootout tomorrow in the 5A game.
It really will be. Pulaski Academy and Little Rock Christian. It's going to be a barn burner. But what tonight was for Bryant was not only good for their high school, but it's good for the state of Arkansas. We're starting to see a little parity at the largest classification. It was always Bentonville. It was always Fayetteville. It looked like it was going to be North Little Rock forever, but a little new blood is now in the water with Bryant being a state championship, and parity is going to make football better in the states.
So we got about 30 seconds left. I want to say thanks to everybody that helped along the broadcast crew tonight, the production crew, Matt Johnson, who's in the booth in the truck with us, and in the booth, McLean Leach has helped us out. Lee Francis helped me out earlier today with the stats along with McLean, and to Todd Mercer, thanks for his spotting, and to you and to Eric, it was a blast today. We're looking forward to being with you again tomorrow, 2 o'clock the kickoff. We'll be on the air at 1:30 with the pregame show. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.